We've got 5 teams here. It's going incredibly well. The rain's staying away, there's some enjoyable cricket, and there's a great crowd actually has built up, so that's perfect. It was about a year ago that we came up with the idea, or Warwickshire, to be fair to them, came up with the idea. And there was a bit of me at first was like, oh, this is going to be quite hard work, and it has been hard work to pull it all together, but it really highlights that cricket can be a game for all, and that's what we want to do. We want to encourage more people to come and watch, umpire, play, score, whatever it might be. And if this tournament helps just one person feel like that they can engage with cricket and play or get involved, and then it's done its job.
I'm absolutely buzzing about today, I've got to be honest. It's just so good to have so many people from the LGBTQ+ community here today who are playing a sport that they love, who are being their authentic selves, and we're being welcomed brilliantly by Sutton Coldfield Cricket Club. I know that the Warwickshire Cricket Board have worked really hard to get this on. So for me, I work at Edgbaston for Warwickshire County Cricket Club. For me to be here at my home club actually, as a game man, who's played here for over 20 years, I'm just absolutely chuffed, to be honest.
It's fantastic to see finally, people can be themselves, enjoying cricket and just celebrating alongside everybody. My personal journey, I think it's really important to be yourself and be able to feel like you can be yourself, because I think then you can just enjoy it more really. So it's incredibly emotional to see these players now being able to openly play freely and just enjoy the day.
This is massive, and today you just come down here actually thinking this is just a cricket festival. You just come down if you didn't know. But actually it means so much to so many people that you can just live your authentic life and love cricket and play cricket or support cricket and be visibly who you want to be.
Vitality Blast Cricket is back. Just make sure you're ready for blast off. Brilliant, that's out. That's a good catch as well, Al Davey.
They popped all their fireworks.
Edged, has it carried? It has, first ball for Miles.
Well, that's a big shout.
In the air and out. Brilliant victory for the Birmingham Bears.
Hello everybody and welcome to Bears Den TV for the final time this season in the T20 Blast. The Bears are in top position in the North Group. They've been doing brilliantly, and on Thursday they'll be back here at Edgbaston for a home quarter final. We can't wait for that, but before that we have a big game today, a big turnout expected here at Edgbaston for the Birmingham Bears versus Durham. My guest today is going to be Will Rhodes. We're going to have a great chat today. My name is Atif Nawaz. Before we have a chat and talk about the game, we want to take you over to see what happened at the toss.
So you can see then on the screen we do have a bit of a surprise here, Alex Davis. You've just won the toss.
Tell us what you're all doing. Yeah, surprisingly I won the toss for once and we're batting. Fantastic. I mean, it looks a fantastic wicket out there, obviously. It was the same that was played here on last night in the IT20. It looks a very good wicket. Looking to try and do it again, put some more fantastic scores on the board like it was here last time against Worcestershire. 228 last time, if I remember correctly. No pressure then. Yeah, it's always a good pitch here. Gary does a fantastic job, and last night's IT20 it showed it was a good pitch and a great game in the end. But we're comfortable batting first here. We've done well in the past, like you say, 220 last game or 230 against Worcester, so we'll just be trying to do the same. 6 wins on the bounce, so going for 7 this afternoon. It must just be a fantastic atmosphere around the dressing room right now. Yeah, it's a great dressing room to be a part of. Everyone's up and about. It's a great atmosphere. Everyone's backing each other, and different guys are coming to the party every game. It's not just one guy carrying us. Everyone's chipping in. Everyone's doing well. So yeah, it's a really good place to be at the minute. And the return, obviously, of Sam Hain. I'm sure that gives you some fantastic excitement. What has the rest of the team used this afternoon? Yeah, I tried to wind Haney up, saying, don't change your winning team, but he kicked off, so we had to pick him in the end. Now, Sam comes in for Ed Barnard, who's incredibly unlucky to miss out, and Dominic Drakes comes in for Hassan Ali. And finally, I know we shouldn't be looking ahead, but we've got to look ahead to Thursday night. Obviously, it's another fantastic crowd here at Edgbaston. We're hoping for 10,000 again on Thursday night. How important is the crowd going to be this afternoon and also obviously on Thursday night for our home quarter final? Yeah, of course, the crowd's always mega here, especially in the Hollies, so hopefully we get a decent atmosphere this afternoon. But as a team, we're just looking at this game. That's the beauty of the lads at the minute. We're not even looking at Thursday yet. We just want to keep the momentum going, win this game, and then we'll look at Thursday tomorrow. Always appreciate you talking to us, Alex. Thank you very much indeed. Cheers. Thank you. News then from a very windy Boundary Edge is that the Bears have won the toss and they'll be batting first.
Thank you very much, Jarlath. Well, there you go. The Bears have won the toss. They will be batting first. They'll be in action very shortly. It's not Will Rhodes with me. It's Craig Miles. My apologies, Craig. Lovely to have you back again. Now, Craig, they won the toss. They're batting first. Some people might think there's an element of complacency there because you're guaranteed to be top of the group. You're guaranteed to play a home quarter final, which was the goal. But it's very important to finish the group stage strong, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, T20 is about momentum, and the guys would want to be taking that into the quarter final on Thursday. So they want to do this game right, bat first, set a large target, and then get the bowlers to do the job on the second innings. They pulled out a stunning win a couple of nights ago at Nottingham at Trent Bridge. Shout out Trent Bridge Live. I really enjoyed that, actually. What an unbelievable win. 4 wickets fall in the first over. Shaheen Afridi doing his thing. And then Rob Yates pulls out a blinder. And then Jake Lintott, what a legend, takes it home. That must have been fun to watch. Absolutely, yeah. I was following from home, and Yates has been in great form. Nice to see that he's getting plenty of time at the crease and making some good scores. And then, yeah, Jake Lintott almost becoming an all-rounder now. He's contributing with bat, ball in the field. So, you know, we've got match winners throughout, but those 2 guys at Trent Bridge were the guys to get us over the line. We'll talk about the team news as well in a second, but just before we do, I mean, a little spoiler for it as well. Sam Hain back in today as well, talking about batters in strong form. I mean, he's been in outstanding form. It just boosts that top order having him back in, doesn't it? Absolutely. I've been doing my rehab with Haney, and he's been itching to get back in the side so he can get out there, score runs, and feel good for Thursday. So yeah, to have Haney come back in is great for the team, and hopefully he scores some runs tonight. Well, there's a big game happening elsewhere in the country, apparently, so they tell me. But we're expecting 6,000 people here at Edgbaston today, so it's going to be a great turnout. And the team that they're going to get to see is a very exciting one. Let's take a look at the Birmingham Bears team that will take on Durham today, starting with the opening batter. It will be Rob Yates, that man we just talked about, opening the batting at the very top. Alongside him will be Alex Davies, the captain, who we just heard from momentarily. Terrific opening combination, that Yates and Davies. They've already done brilliantly this season. At number 3, we will have Glenn Maxwell,
who, again, we've been looking for that big performance from him, but we're getting to the deep end of the competition, and players like him tend to come through in the big games. Number 4, back in the team, is Sam Hain, as we just talked about. Been absolutely incredible, and as Craig was saying, itching to go from rehab. He'll be back in action today. Dan Mosley, one of our favourites here on Bears Den TV. He's been brilliant with bat and ball this season. 50s galore with the bat. Loads of bags full of wickets with the ball. He's been brilliant. Chris Benjamin in at 6. He'll be hoping for more time in the middle. He's sort of struggled a little bit on Friday against Nottinghamshire, but he'll be keen to have a hit. He'll be coming down the order. Just below him in the batting order will be Jacob Bethel. Again, just saw him having a practice hit downstairs, actually. He got a lot out of the middle. I think if he does have a bat today, it could be quite devastating. Henry Brooks will come in at 8. Again, been brilliant this season. Loads of pace and looking to take up that mantle of the fast bowler, possibly taking the new ball today as well with Hassan Ali out. And Jake Lintop will come in after that, the hero of Nottingham. Kind of stole Robbie H's thunder for me, really, with that innings. He was outstanding. Ollie Hannon-Dolby will be in next. Brilliant to see him back in the side. OHD always makes a brilliant positive impact on the team. And then the replacement for Hassan Ali will be Dominic Drakes, who's just been brought into the squad 3 days ago as a replacement for Hassan, who's off to international duty with Pakistan. His father, of course, Vasbert Drakes, as well as playing for the West Indies, also played a couple of seasons for Warwickshire, so there's pedigree there. That, for me, Craig, is a very strong team. What do you think?
Absolutely. I think all bases are covered there: spin, seam, and power in the batting. So, yeah, it's an exciting lineup. A couple of new faces. Ollie Hannon-Dolby's come in, which is great. He's a guy that's played a lot of white ball cricket, so he knows his stuff. So yeah, the Bears are almost sport for choice at times with the selection of the team. So that team's been selected tonight, and they can go out there and do the job.
Well, Hassan's off to Pakistan, or I think Sri Lanka, actually. That's where they play their test series. But bringing in Dominic Drakes, I mean, that's a big moment as well. When your father's played for the club and you get to play for the club, it must be a big moment for him. Yeah,
that'll feel nice for him that he can follow in his dad's footsteps. But he played in the Blast for Yorkshire, I think it was last year, so he knows what the Blast is about. He knows what the English sort of conditions are about. So he's going to come in, and it's nice because he's a left arm option as well, which is something that we haven't had recently at the Bears. So that's going to be nice to see how he goes tonight.
It will be indeed, and it'll be nice to see how he goes on this surface tonight. This has been a busy pitch here at Edgbaston. There was an women's international Ashes game here last night, and less than 18 hours later, they're getting ready for another game. It is one of the busiest surfaces in world cricket. That square gets a lot of use. Well, to tell you a little bit more about the square, we've got our head of turf management here at Edgbaston, Gary Barwell, on behalf of Allet Mowers.
We've allotted the pitch. We said what number it is, so we're pitch number 10 for argument's sake. So what we do is the square's looked after all the way through the year, so there's potentially 24 pitches always available for us. So about 14 days out, although there'll be moisture in the square and it'll be healthy and everything, 14 days out, we know that is going to be the next pitch. That's when we really start to work the pitch. Plenty of water's put in it to 39% moisture reading with a probe. That's then decided, right, it's in position, we're going to start rolling it. We roll it up until the start of the game. We then cut it a day before to about 10 mil. We brush it a little bit through the process, and that's generally a pitch. I do like a pitch to look like a proper pitch, but I will say that I think some of the New Zealand pitches that are emerald green are some of the most amazing pitches in the world. So I do believe that, what it looks like can be very deceiving. I do think it helps when it's a straw colour pitch, because I think people then don't look at it in the same way as they would if it was emerald green. So no, I think the colour's important, but I think it's not the be-all and end-all.
Fascinating. I always find it really fascinating. Any insight onto the surface, I'm always on about. Now it's a fresh surface we're looking at today for today's game. What do you think, Craig? What's a good score today for the Bears to put up?
Fresh surfaces are generally good here, so I'm thinking over 200 for the Bears. The Bears have been good at that recently, so I'm going to say 205 for 6.
205 for 6. That's a very specific prediction.
That's
Who's getting the runs?
I fancy a Maxwell cameo. I think Chris Benjamin tonight for me.
Yeah, I think it's about time Chris Benjamin got a big one in as well. Well, the players are making their way out to the middle. Craig Miles and myself will be back very, very soon. But for now, you're very shortly going to hear the soothing sounds of Mr. Adam Bridge.
Another Sunday afternoon of Blast Cricket for you then from Edgbaston. Welcome to the commentary box on Bears Den TV. Thank you to Craig and Artif. And here we go with the Bears winning the toss and choosing to bat. I mean, in essence, a dead rubber in the sense the Bears have already qualified in top spot and Durham can't reach the all-important quarter-finals, of course. However, a chance to get that 11th victory in a 14-game season for the first time. It would also equal the number of victories, that being 11, which they managed in a 16-game season back in 2010, of course. And it's going to be Davis and Yates, of course, a decent partnership that's been working between these two. And that was cut a bit short by a scandalous umpiring decision on Friday night. And here we go from the far end then. Durham getting us underway, and first ball is cracked away through the covers for 4. Drissel the bowler, and Davis immediately showing his intent. Alongside me is the captain, the man himself, Will Rhodes is here. Hello.
Again, Bridgie, good to be back. Well, I don't know. Was in the squad for a few games, and now I'm back and doing media, so may mind whether that's a good thing, but the boys are flying, so great seeing it.
Enjoy the rest then, you know.
Yeah, it's nice. Always nice when you got 4 days coming up.
Just then again, off the pads, just going to be a single. Just liking the colour clash here. I think it's time we started having home and away shirts in Blast Cricket. What do you think?
The amount of money that's in cricket now, in T20 cricket, you'd like to think they could get another strip.
They haven't tried it actually.
Must do, or someone plays in bibs or something like that. A bit of old school five-a-side, but it's not great. This is it. 2 teams in yellow, but I agree. Let's bring back away strips next year.
Drissel in again. That one with a bit more bounce. This wicket, of course, was used last night in the women's international T20 game between England and Australia. It looked a pretty decent surface as well, to be fair. Drissel gone for 5 then. First 3 balls of the over. It's better line, better length. And Yates, who's in just the most tremendous form right now. Scores of 40, 66, 59 and 65 in his last 4 Blast innings. Really found his feet this Blast campaign for the Bears. Not the best that time, beaten outside the off stump. Bit of a waft.
He's played well though, hasn't he, last couple of weeks. Stepped up to play, played really well on Friday. I was obviously lucky enough to be there at Trent Bridge, and the way he manufactured the innings with the lower order was superb. He's obviously had a great tournament so far.
Yeah, he's really come of age. No run off the last ball. Just 5 off it then from Drissel. 5 without loss at the end of the first over. Have you seen a kind of change in him? Has his just confidence grown, or what can you put your finger on what's kind of brought about this upturn, and not just in form, because he delivered the odd really good performance in T20, but just the consistency?
Maybe the consistency of actually playing and getting a run of games together. If you know you're going to bat at the top of the order for 6-7 games, obviously Davo's backed him in, and he's sort of come good, hasn't he? He's always had that game for white ball cricket. I think his 50 over record's outstanding, and he just needed that sort of breakthrough year in T20, which is great to see, and hopefully he can be a mainstay of the team for a number of years now.
Going to see the introduction of Ben Rain from this pavilion end. 15 wickets to his name so far throughout this season, and it's Davis on strike, and immediately edged away for 4 with power though. Another player who's having a terrific Blast campaign, not only in his batting but also his captaincy as well.
He's been unbelievable, hasn't he? I've just been down there doing some warm-ups, bowling at him in the nets, and had one of the best nets I've ever seen. He's in some serious form, not just in white ball but in red ball as well. He's almost taken his game to a new level. We knew he was a good player when he came last year, but the way he's played and conducted himself this year has been fantastic.
Rain then, how will he respond? Second ball, again cut away this time, just going to be a single. As ever, Aaron's in stats corner. The record against Durham, I mean, obviously Durham can't qualify. It is a bit of a dead game, but how do they get on here?
Well, it's an interesting one, to be honest, Adam. I mean, in terms of the overall head-to-head, the Bears are 11-4 ahead, but here at Edgbaston, it's a lot closer. Actually, 4-3, the Bears are ahead, so Durham could tie it up today with a victory at Edgbaston.
Yeah, usually that pesky man Stokes comes and does something rather spectacular here, doesn't he? But
yes, he does.
He's doing that down at Lord's right now. So Yates off the mark, just with 1, as it's fielded in on the boundary by Graham Clark, another one who's having a really good campaign for Durham. The score moves on to 11 without loss, midway through the second over. And Rain just wandering slowly back to his mark. We assume the missing player today and the only change for Durham is Brandon Glover. He's having a fitness test earlier, or someone was having a fitness test out on the Edgbaston outfield. I'm going to guess, due to the way he's been performing in his power, that he failed it. There's no failure about that from Alex Davis. What a shot! Pulled away over mid-wicket, 6 runs, no danger, effortless.
In a bit of a hurry here, isn't he? 16 off 5 balls. He had a good chat in the team huddle earlier. He wanted 200 in this last group game. Obviously, we've not hit it for a couple of games now. I'm sure Aaron can tell us how many games it's been, but he wants that 200 last game, and obviously the win, like you say, to get that record 11th win in a campaign would be amazing. So I think he's almost set up in a bit of a hurry here. So great viewing so far.
17 without loss then. Raining again. This one's driven. Just going to be a single. 1 more to the total. 18 without loss. How many times have we passed 200 this campaign, Logan?
This season,
yeah,
5 times, which is quite incredible. Durham, for example, have just passed it on 2 occasions. 4 of those as well have come here at Edgbaston, which is a record for the Bears.
There we go. Terrific campaign in terms of run scoring. I was talking to Gavin last only about this, and as he said, I wouldn't want to be a bowler in this format anymore, because the 200 plus scores, and not just the sneaking over 200s, the 230s, the 240s are just becoming more and more common, aren't they?
Well, it's amazing when you sort of finish a game on whatever night it is you're playing. You sort of get up that ECB app or have a look around the scores on BBC or whatever, and you see 250, 240, Surrey 260 I think at some stage this year, and you think, oh, it's not ideal. And I think Robbo has done me a favour by leaving me out this T20 team, because my stats are only going one way with the economy, and that's going up. So obviously it'd be great to get out there, but yeah, like you said, to be a bowler now with the way that people hit it is no fun, and you've got to be unbelievably skillful to get some wickets.
Now, 2 seasons ago, when you were captain in this side, I always said to you, you didn't bowl yourself enough, because the old golden arm used to come on and take wickets every time. I used to bowl myself at the end when people were slogging it. That's what I did. That was the trick. Trick of the trade when you're captain is get yourself on when the fielders are out. None of this power play nonsense. Ashton Turner into the attack from the far end, 19 without loss. Turner's been doing good stuff with the bat, but he's an off-break bowler. We'll see what he's got to offer for Durham in over number 3. So spin an early option for them for the second over of the innings. Having opened up, and he's done well with that first ball, got the better of Yates, but they've sneaked through for a bye.
Looked like a missed stump in there, didn't it? He's obviously, who was that, Paul Pollard, the umpire at the far end, giving byes there, so missed stumping. Ollie Robinson's obviously a fantastic keeper batsman, isn't he? I think he's one of the better ones in the country, so he'd be disappointed with that one.
Yeah, they got a bit frustrated being behind Sam Billings in the pecking order down at Kent. Left there to go to Durham. That's a lovely shot, cut away by Davis, and it's going to run away to the boundary, and it's going to reach. Oh no, that's a terrific bit of fielding actually. It's well done in the end by Bryden Cass, who's playing today just again as a batsman for Durham due to injury. I thought that was all the way to the ropes, but just when you thought it was getting away from him, he managed to stick that big right arm out and managed to save 2 runs. 22 is the score. Davis on to 19 from 7 balls so far. Captain leading from the front. Just cuts it away again. One hand off the bat. It's a good ball from Turner, good response. Good crowd in as well for a Sunday afternoon. And of course, keep you abreast of the rest of the North group. Oh, that's a really good catch. Well taken. Innings comes to an end. It's a really well taken catch high above his head. And Davies is on his way. 419 from 9 deliveries. The Bears lose their first wicket with a score on 22.
Smart catch that one at backward point. Said Devo was in a hurry there, and I think he's melted that, hasn't he? Melted that straight at point. Good catch by Drizzle, I think, at backward point there. So shame to lose him early. I think who's coming in now, Benji. I think everyone's waiting for the main man, aren't they? Waiting for the arrival of Haney at the minute, but obviously Benji's in nice touch of the minute. Obviously failed on Friday, but Yeah, I think he's due a big one, isn't he, Benji? If there's ever going to be a day, it's probably today, I think.
Yeah, in Sam's absence, obviously they've just juggled the order a little bit with Benj moving up, and probably no bad thing. I don't think you want Sam in this early, do we? 22 for 1. 2 balls to come in the third over, of course. So Benjamin on his way to the middle, and I think it's like it was mentioned earlier, I think, by Craig. Could just do with a big knock. We've had some really useful kind of 20s from him, haven't we? But nothing really that kind of standout innings we saw from him first up. Was against Durham as well? I was against Northants that day, yeah.
I think he was batting with an experienced head at the other end that day, wasn't he? I think he was.
Yeah. Who was that? Remind me.
I don't know. I'm sure Aaron can bring up the stats of the other bloke at the other end.
22 for 1. First ball played back to Turner for Benjamin. Of course, had a terrific first blast campaign as well with the Phoenix, impressing many. Immediately goes through the covers for 4. Lovely shot, gave himself some room, just stepped away. First boundary for Chris Benjamin. It's another boundary for the Bears, and after 3 overs, the score 26 for 1. So in order to keep Will Rhodes' chivalry intact, how many runs did Will score that day with Benj?
32 from 25.
Oh, from 25? That's a decent strike rate.
It was quite slow that day, but what I was doing there is I was just trying to get the new lad on strike there because he wanted to impress, and oh boy did he. I think he reverse swept his first ball for 4, if I remember rightly. And I think from there it was just sort of the Chris Benjamin show. So I don't think anyone came to watch me that day, but a lot of people came to watch him. And sort of block hammers, I like to get the other people on strike who are going to entertain more than me.
That's what makes you a great captain.
Well, that's nice of you, added, isn't it?
Yeah. Liam Travaskis, the slow left armour, into the attack, so spin very much the option here for Durham. And Yates not quite found the middle of that bat. I mean, he's been in terrific form. No run there, 26 for 1. Not sure if it went into the ground. It was the outstretched arm again of George Driscoll, who's already taken one terrific catch today, of course. That's a full toss, and it's dealt with by Yates. Straight down the ground, all the way across the ropes for 6. Terrific shot from Yates. Terrible ball from Travaskis, but it's given the treatment it deserved.
They're the ones you want early in your innings, aren't they? He was obviously 2 off 8 before that ball, and to get one of those is lovely, isn't it? I mean, how many times do you see those go downfielders' throats? So, well, fair play to Yates there for banging that out of the ground.
32 for 1. See if that gets Yates going. Cuts away for 4. Despairing dive by back the point, but it goes to the boundary ropes, and Yates moves to 12. The Bears to 36 for 1. Really good start. Midway through over number 4. We will of course keep you posted on what's going on down at Lord's. England needs 79 more to win. 292 for 6. Stokes is on 148. Broad is on 10. Partnership there over 100. 37 for 1. Yates on 13. I was saying to someone earlier today, I remember being here when he did that at Headingley. There was a T20 game that afternoon as well, and all eyes were just, I think at one point for the start of the second innings, everyone was on the concourse watching the end of Ben Stokes' wonderful knock to win that Ashes Test match back in 2019 at Headingley. Must be quite weird as a player to come out to hardly anyone in the stands when you know they were there.
It was weird. I can remember playing in that game, and I think it was Northants there, and there was literally 400 people in the stands watching, 10,000 at the bar. It was great for beer sales that day.
Travaskis in again. There's an appeal and he's gone. Benjamin goes for 4. LBW. He just took a moment, staring down the umpire, but the finger went up. Travaskis strikes. Benjamin's gone for 4. It's 37 for 1. Batsman's view.
Doesn't look happy with it, does he? Obviously, when the replay comes up, we can here he comes, have a better look. I'm not going to be able to tell from that angle, are we?
No, it's not the best. He's got a big stride in. It's certainly caught the outside edge of that left pad of his, which is probably what he's thinking. But you can hear the roar around the bowl in Edgbaston for the arrival of Sam Hain. I mean, the stats speak for themselves this season, don't they? You are bowing down to him, no surprise. By my reckoning, 100th T20 Blast appearance today?
Almost. 99th.
Oh, 99th today,
Yep.
okay. We'll let him off. So the quarter-final will be his 100th, that's nice.
What a way to bring it up, eh?
Yeah. Obviously, we've not seen him for a couple of weeks. Runs-wise, this season, just
unbelievable.
Highest average in the Blast, hasn't he?
Yeah, 417 runs, averaging 139, strike rate of 168.14. The Bears' all-time leading T20 Blast run scorer. Samuel Robert Hayne, folks, the best uncapped cricketer on planet Earth. What a man.
And that comes without playing at Trent Bridge this year, which obviously we know always does wonders for his average and his strike rate.
Well, it'd been interesting to see if he'd have got through that first over, wouldn't it? I mean, if anyone was going to get him, it'd have been a freebie, so it's probably a good one to miss for Haney.
Yeah, I was disappointed not to see his name in the squad, I'll be honest, but it's good to have him back. Chance to play a game, obviously, before the quarter-final. And he's off the mark, as he likes to do first ball, 38 for 2, and that completes 4 overs. Yates is on 13, Haynes on 1. So a couple of wickets down, but I think as we saw on Friday night, that adage about losing 3 wickets in the power play, when you lose 4 in your first over, you can still win a game of cricket.
It's gone out the window for the Bears this year, and I think all these stats about 2 and 3 in the power play are sort of being rewritten now, aren't they, with the way that teams are playing and coming throughout the innings. So obviously it's a nice start. Looks like a lovely pitch as well. I know it was used yesterday in the Women's Ashes game, so looks like a lovely wicket. Might just take a little bit of turn later on, and I think that's what we're hoping for. I think, did we win the toss and bat first? I think we did, so obviously going that way, and the way they've gone there, this is the 4th over of spin in the first 5 overs, so I think both teams will have the same ploy, to be honest.
Well, as well, I'm right in thinking can't use a hybrid for an international game, can you? So this must be one of the genuine wickets, and obviously we're so used to playing on those hybrids in T20s, aren't we?
We are, yeah. I think obviously depends on how it plays today. We'll determine whether we play on it on Thursday or not. I think we probably will do. Might just react a little bit differently under the lights on Thursday as well.
Drissel into the attack from the Birmingham end for his second over, went for 5 in the opening over of the innings, 38 for 2 as things stand. Quick mention as well, you may have seen on screen a minute ago, for our Carling Best Seats in the House winners on the far side. It's got a terrific view from pitch side. And they could be yours, of course, if you just follow on the social media channel at Warwickshire County Cricket Club, especially with the quarter-final coming up on Thursday evening. 6:30 start here. Tickets are a tenner and available now if you want to get your hands on them for what promises to be a cracking night. We'll find out who the likely opponents are. We think probably Kent and Essex seem to be the most likely options.
Yeah, I'd say so, Adam. That looks like the battle for 4th. I think Hampshire's net run rate might just take them to 3rd, so we'll keep an eye on that throughout the day.
Thank goodness for that after last season. Hayne into the leg side again. There's no run. Decent over from Drissel so far. 38 for 2. 2 balls remaining in the 5th over. Sam just getting back into the swing of things. I mean, they were very ambiguous when they said he has injury. They said anything between 2 and 4 weeks. Obviously, he's back a little bit sooner than the far end of that, but is he feeling... I mean, you missed him, obviously, in the championship game as well, didn't you?
I think the way that Haney is and the way he's striking the ball this season, I think it was always ever going to be close to the 2 weeks. He's obviously worked very hard on his rehab. He was at Trent Bridge on Friday carrying some drinks, so he was getting some running in there. And he's been around the lads as well. He's obviously been around the guys for the home games. He was at Worcester just after he did it, so it's not like he's been fully away.
Yates, no run. Really good over from Drissel, just the single from it. 39 for 2. And we're already seeing the spinners just starting to tie this down a little bit.
We are, they've bowled nicely. That's a nice over, but obviously going back to Haney, I think this is a good idea playing him today. Whether he is fully fit or not, I think he's obviously a crucial part of our T20 lineup, so getting him just that game, as good a player as he is, he's always wanted to play one game before that quarter-final, so you don't really want to go in too rusty into a big game. So however much he fields, I don't know how much he'll field in the second innings, but probably a good decision to bat first. Let him have a bat, feet up, and then get ready for Thursday, I think.
Ben Rain, 14 off his first over. He's going to bowl the final over of the power play then, 39 for 2. And it's Hayne on strike, and he works that for one more to move his total to 3, and the Bears on to 40 for 2. I mean, it's really hard to see, it's difficult to see beyond the game you're playing, but, you know, for me, all eyes very firmly on that quarter-final. Just because the disappointment of last season, because you'd had such a good campaign last year, and to go in and perform in the manner you did against Hampshire, was just so disappointing, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was. I think, you know, when you obviously get your hopes up to get to that quarter-final, and that's always the aim of our team. We've been very, very fortunate to do it for the last 2 years. So to get to the quarter-final, it's always that one last stepping stone to get to finals day and playing in front of a home crowd. So we played some unbelievable cricket, 7 times past 200, and I think that was the one thing that Carlos wanted us to do, was to live by that ethos, and just to fall short was really disappointing. So the guys will have that in the back of their minds and going into Thursday.
I remember last year it was a wicket that had been used 3 or 4 times, which is what's frightening me about using this a 3rd time, but there we go. We shall see. Thursday night, 6:30 start here. Opponent yet to be decided, of course. Somerset, the only other side guaranteed a home quarter-final from the Southern Group. They play later today against Kent, so we may not know who the opponent is actually until later tonight, as Hayne plays that one out into the offside and there's no run. 41 for 2. Hayne 3 from 8. Yates on 14 from his 13 balls so far. 3 left in the power play, and after that crunching start from Alex Davis, it's gone a little bit quiet.
Just quieting down a bit, hasn't it? But that's Haney though, isn't it? He just likes to give himself a couple of balls, and you know, with his record, who are we to tell him how to play T20 cricket? So he knows what he's doing. Obviously, I don't want to put the jinx on him.
Just picks up a single. 1 bounce into the arms of Graham Clark. Moves on to 4. 42 for 2. There's a good crowd in today for a Sunday afternoon, and there's plenty of other stuff going on, of course, and it is a dead rubber. It's always a bit of an interesting one when you get to this stage of the season, particularly when you've got a team coming like Durham who in essence have nothing to play for apart from pride. It's a great shot from Yates, cracked away towards mid-wicket for 4. Real beauty. 46 for 2. Yates onto 18 and 1 ball left in the power play.
It's the strength of Yates in it, that sort of pick-up pull. Either that or a pick-up sweep, he just nails them. He's obviously been practicing them over the winter and had first stand of bowling at him as well, and certainly one place you don't really bowl at him, so maybe a little change of pace or change of line, I reckon, coming up here, because wants to stay away from that length.
Last ball of the over from Rain. No run from Yates, and that completes the power play. 46 for 2 then at the end of it. Davies and Benjamin the men out. Yates on 18, Hayne on 4. Not one of the highest power plays we've seen from the Bears,
No, it's not. It's certainly not the highest, but at the same time, it's not awful. Only 2 wickets lost. It's not as bad as 7 for 4 on Friday at Trent Bridge, but it's definitely a bit more of a patient start compared to previous games here.
Yeah, good bowling as well by the slower bowlers from Durham.
Yeah, they've bowled really well. They've used the conditions well, bowled a lot of spin into the wicket. Obviously that catch off Davis was caught a point, and obviously the LBW, so keeping the stumps in play, bowled nicely into the wicket there. So I think we'll see obviously 2 more overs from Drizzle, and obviously the leg spinner South is going to play a big part as well, so, and obviously Travaskis. So I think it could be quite a quick innings, this one, getting through the overs.
Yeah, South had 22 wickets this season, yet to see him, but Drizzle's the man in now. And they're going to run the first quickly and think about the second, but no real pressure on the arm on that occasion. 47 for 2. Yates is on to strike on 18. Sam Hayne just ticking over to 5 as things stand. And Ben Stokes has just passed 150 for England. 75 more required for victory at Lords in the Ashes Test. 296 for 6 is where England stand right now. Stokes 151 as Yates just takes the single. Tell us about that wicket down at Essex then, Skipper. Was it decent? Nasty?
Yeah, it was a good wicket. Obviously, Essex at home, notoriously very good. Simon Harm was probably the best spinner in the country at red ball cricket. So if you're going to have someone like that, you may as well produce a pitch for him. And he bowled really well. Lads played really well second innings. We probably just got our plans maybe a little bit wrong in the first innings. But look, if you're going to lose a game, lose it now. And then we've got a nice run in this back half. You know, we play a lot of the bottom teams in the next few games. So be nice to pick up a couple of wins and get back on the horse.
Well, nice to come home as well, because obviously international cricket tends to mean you have to go on your travels a bit. That's a lovely shot down the ground from Sam Hayne for 4. Absolute beauty. Just didn't allow Drizzle to settle there. He just bowled the wide, and it brings up the 50 for the Bears. 53 for 2 in the 7th over. A lovely shot from Sam Hayne.
Vintage Hayne, that, isn't it? He hits down the ground so often, so often these days, front or back foot against spinners. So it'll be interesting to see how they come back. And obviously that innings at Trent Bridge was a prime example of that, wasn't it? At the end of the innings.
Is that something he's worked on recently in the last couple of seasons? Just more and more trying to open up straight down the wicket, because he obviously was terrific either side of the wicket, but he just seems to be doing that more and more, using his feet a bit more too.
I think so, yeah. I think you look at the gap between the two fielders at long on and long off, it's such a big space. And I think obviously going to the Big Bash, where it's usually small straight and big wide, that's obviously clearly helped him. That's a lovely shot.
It's a beauty from Yates. I don't think it's going to get all the way to the boundary because the chase is on. There's 3 of them after it, and in the end a relay throw is required to deal with it. Sauter is the player that gets the ball in the end, and it's only worth 2 runs, and you feel the quality of that was worth a couple more.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? That was a lovely shot from Yates. He just used the pace there, a little bit more pace from Drizzle. Always a nice option when you can beat that gap. He's playing really well here, Yates. He's playing another mature innings.
10 off the over so far, and it's 10 as it stays, as Yates just props that down. Change of gloves time for Rob Yates. He's quite mild out there, 56 for 2 as things stand there. And you can get your favourite player cards from Fan Craze right now. Plenty available if you want to get your hands on those. You can scan that QR code or just head to the website to grab your favourite players. Right, we're going to see a change in the bowling here. I think we are going to see the leggy now, aren't we? Yes. Sauter's coming into the attack. He's had a good season, hasn't he?
He's had an excellent season. As you said beforehand, Adam, 22 wickets after 14.77. But the real thing that stands out for me is the economy rate, 6.81 in modern T20 cricket. That is gold dust, and he has had an excellent campaign for Durham so far.
It's great economy for a leggy as well, isn't it?
Certainly is, yeah. Guys who usually get attacked a bit more, especially in this format.
56 for 2 then, 7 overs gone. And Drizzle has bowled 3 overs for 16 so far, so just 1 more to come from him. So a bit of juggling to be done here for Durham. But it is going to be Sauter that's into the attack, and he's cut away immediately. It's going to be 1, although it's been run very quickly by Sam Hain. He's always, that first run, he's so quick, isn't he? He's always looking to put that pressure on the fielder.
He is, especially when he hits it as well, trying to get his own runs. But I'm sure the physios will be watching very eagerly here. I know there's a couple of us players who are wanting him just to stay fit. I know obviously you want to put the fields under pressure, but the club's best batter, we don't want him out for too much longer.
57 for 2, he's on to 11. Yates is on 21 as the sun comes out. It's a cloudy day here at Edgbaston, but now it's suddenly bright and just shining off that playing surface as it's tucked into the leg side for 1 more. Into Ollie Robinson behind the stumps. And 58 for 2, the scoreboard ticks round to. When we get to the halfway stage, we'll have a quick gander around the other counties and find out what's happened so far in the first part of this afternoon's blast encounters as the race for qualification continues. Only 2 of the spots assured, of course, and I'm pretty sure Surrey, with our superior run rate, will get a spot in the south. It's just where it will be, that's the question. 59 for 2. And there's no preference as to who you play when you get to that stage, is it? It doesn't really matter.
Home quarter final, no one really cares who we play, to be honest. I think there's obviously a few budges about Hampshire. We don't particularly want them after last year, but look, you've got to beat the best teams if you want to win it, so it doesn't really matter who you play.
There's the appeal for LBW. I think it's probably doing a little bit too much for Yatesy to be given out on this occasion. 59 for 2. Yeah, because obviously it was 2010 when, in the 16-game season, when 11 victories were secured, and it was Hampshire again in the quarter-finals, wasn't it? Who got the victory. So we're not keen on them. I don't think we like them.
No, we don't like Hampshire, do we? It's a long way from here. It's a long away ground, isn't it?
They're all a long way from here, though, aren't they? It's a good job we got a home tie. That's the game. Yeah. Just to get here for finals day, though.
It'd be lovely. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? I'm certainly putting myself back in the squad for that one, even if Robbo don't want me.
60 for 2, big swish from Sam Hain, but didn't get enough of it. End of the over. Just the 4 from it then. Good start from Sauter. We saw his economy rate, or we mentioned his economy rate, and it shines through on that occasion. So Alex Lee's just orchestrating things at the far end. 60 for 2. I think we're going to see Ashton Turner coming back into the attack here. their overseas players, of course. Got a pretty decent record, hasn't it?
He has, yeah. In terms of the batting hand, we'll probably discuss that when Durham do get to their batting. But in terms of his bowling, actually, Adam, he's not had a great season at all before this game.
We like that, yeah.
He was averaging 160. Obviously, that's now come down to 83 as a result of that wicket. But yeah, he's not had the greatest campaigns with the ball so far.
It really is spin all the way here from Durham. They go for 2 this time. Yates got in first with a quick single, but again, it's well fielded. Robinson gathers just 1 to the total, 61 for 2. As we tick down into the 9th over. Turner obviously with a wicket to his name already. Hayne now on strike. Field spread a little more, of course, now we're out of that power play. And Sam Hayne has gone. Well, it's quite simple. The swing, caught the edge, and again, backward point, another catch for Drissel. This one a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, just looked to open up the offside, didn't he, there? And a little bit of width on offer. Looked like he tried to access the short boundary through extra cover. Obviously, and it's probably for those reasons that he wanted to play this game, just to get that match practice. Obviously, it's nice for him to spend 16 balls, but you don't want him going into a quarter-final, I guess, fresh. So he won't be too flustered by that. It'll be all the better for the experience and getting out there and just seeing how his leg is. So it's not too much of an issue, that.
Glenn Maxwell comes to the crease. 61 for 3 is the score. Run rate just under 7.5 and over. And Maxwell arrives probably to do what he's done in recent weeks, which is make a really decent contribution without really ticking over.
Yeah, he's got a lot of starts, and he's sort of got a lot of teens, 20s, a couple of 30s here and there. But from my being around the squad, Maxwell is the ultimate sort of overseas for me. Buys into your culture. He's been outstanding with the young lads, outstanding with the fielders who field on the boundary. People like Dan, Rob Yates, Jacob Beffelin. It's those sort of experiences, and I guess the members want him to score runs and take wickets, but it's everything else that he offers has been fantastic around the group. So you can sort of forgive him for not getting as many runs as he wants, and he's more disappointed than anyone else, I think.
He's on strike here to Turner, who's grabbed his 2nd wicket of the afternoon. How many runs has he scored this campaign?
Glenn Maxwell, he scored 206 runs so far for the Bears, strike rate of 158.46, and yeah, you mentioned about these little starts. He's hit 10 sixes from 130 balls, so yeah, very powerful is Mr. Maxwell.
Yeah, and that strike rate is around his kind of career strike rate, over the 150 mark, so that's comes as no great surprise. And actually, you've struck lucky this year with your overseas players, haven't you, as well? I mean, with Hassan and Glenn Maxwell, in terms of contributions on, particularly from Hassan in the red ball and in the white ball, but the characters in the dressing room as well.
They're absolutely brilliant, and I think that's why you go for overseas players who people have played with or know. For those exact reasons, you want them to fit into the dressing room and the culture and stuff like that, and the performances almost come secondary. Yes, you want them to take wickets and win your games, but how they act and conduct themselves is probably just as important as the stuff that they execute on the field.
Another single to the total, 63 for 3. Yates is on to 25, Maxwell's on 1. One more over to go before we reach the halfway stage. Remind if you just joined us, Bears won the toss. They chose to bat, but 3 down as things stand in a all spin attack really, apart from a couple of overs we've seen from Ben Rain. It's been slow bowling all the way. Ahead of that home quarter-final, of course, on Thursday night. Rainbow Laces game as well today too. You'll notice that there were laces on Tiff, I think's microphone pre-game as well. Some of the players wearing rainbow laces too. Some of them sporting them as wristbands, it appears. That's a great shot from Yates. He's pulled that one away. He's dissected the fielders. It's 4 runs. A little bit short, which you can often find with a leg in and full advantage taken.
Yeah, beautiful shot that, wasn't it? Played with such power. I think this is obviously where he's coming to his own this year. 25 off 24 balls. A lot of young guys will almost give the wicket away there, but for him just to have that mature head and have the confidence and the backing from the guys, he's obviously been able then to just milk it around, and batting with Maxwell's priceless, isn't it?
It's well run too. As soon as that left the bat, you thought there was a couple on there, and they take full advantage. He's into the 30s, 31 now for Yates, 69 for 3 is the scoreline. It looks like they've just taken a bit of a liking here to the leggy. Couple of balls just a little bit short, as we say, which can often happen. 10 runs now off his first 8 deliveries. Swept this time. That's not going to be out. Outside the line for sure.
Pitched outside leg that one, didn't it, I think?
Yeah. 69 for 3. Run rate still around 7.3. Really breezy afternoon here at Edgbaston as well.
That's
almost
a shot.
Exactly the same as his second shot of the over. This time it brings 4. Got it a little finer and was able to beat the fielder. Another classy cricket shot from Rob Yates. He's on to 35.
I think he picked the googly there, didn't he? I think it looks like another googly from Souter, obviously towards the short edge, so he just needed to beat the backward point fielder. I think it's Ashton Turner at backward point, so just needed to beat him, and beautiful shot from Yatesy.
2 balls to come in the over, and he's cut that one away for 4 once more. Back-to-back boundaries for Rob Yates, who's on to 39. The Bears tick over to 77 for 3 then, and so far that's 14 runs from the over, and this is just what they needed.
It's the over to get you going, isn't it? Especially when it's just Maxwell, when Maxwell's just come to the crease, just to take that little bit of pressure off Maxwell, gives him an extra, theoretically an extra over or 2 just to get himself in. Yes, he's played a blinder in this over. 3 great shots.
Last ball of it, and they've tried to go for a quick single, and well, I think they went to the wrong end. They may have had more luck there actually if that throw from Ashton Turner had gone towards the wicket-keeper's end, because I think Yates may well have been stranded. But that completes 10 overs, 77 for 3 as things stand. Darren, what's going on elsewhere around the country?
Well, it's very interesting in the North Group. So up in Old Trafford, Northants currently 62 for 3 against Lancashire. Northants needing to win that game in order to stand any chance of qualification. At the Encora Ground in Derby, Worcestershire are 85 for 1 in the 9th over. Again, that is pretty much a must-win for both of those sides. And the interesting one so far at Trent Bridge, Nottinghamshire struggling 62 for 4 after 8 overs against the Leicestershire Foxes. So all to play for in the North Group.
It certainly is, thank you very much. 77 for 3 as things stand here. Maxwell on strike, just 1 to his name off of 3 balls, which is unlike him. I reckon he'll fancy this next one.
Might do, but he's hitting into the wind, leg side there, so I reckon that's the play. Might just target towards the hollies, towards the pavilion ends, hitting with the wind and the shorter edge. So obviously it's tough to tell from up here and on the stream, but you know, being out there, it's actually quite a strong breeze, so I'm sure he's clever enough. To be fair, he could probably clear them anyway, couldn't he? But you know, I reckon his first one might just be towards the hollies.
Yeah, Yates, he might fancy a bit of this, but obviously he would be hitting against the spin worry to try it to that leg side. Instead, he just goes for a single. 79 for 3. Yates on to 40. Brings Maxwell back on strike. Someone said he don't like being called the Big Show. Is that true?
Oh, I don't know. He just doesn't like it, to be honest. I think it's when it's not self-proclaimed. I think it's no one really likes it, do they? No, I just there we go. Towards the hollies.
It's the reverse sweep for 4. It's an absolute beauty from Maxwell. Effortless from the Australian international. Premeditated and well executed. 83 for 3, moves on to 6.
I think this is what we mentioned earlier, wasn't it, about being a bowler in this form of cricket. It's bad enough bowling to Maxwell batting right-handed, and then he turns around and hits it better than most lefties.
Yeah, I don't think there was too much wrong with that delivery from Turner. To be fair, he tries to repeat the feat, but he's got it a bit squarer this time, and he'll just get a single for it.
It's a good ball from Turner. I think he went dead full and quick, didn't he? Probably knew he was going again, and obviously played against each other in the Big Bash for a number of years. Australian teammates as well, know each other inside out, so always a good contest when you know two good friends are going up against it.
84 for 3. 1 ball to come in this, the 11th over, and there's going to be no run to complete it, so that's the scoreline after 11. 84 for 3. Nine overs remaining then, and well, I would tell you what England need, but they've taken the graphic off the screen. I think it's about 74, something like that required for victory as things stand down at Lords. Ben Stokes still flying. He's in with Stuart Broad as things stand, of course, after Johnny Bairstow's controversial dismissal a little bit earlier. It's 72 more required to win as things stand. Travaskis back into the attack, 12 runs off his first over, but a wicket, of course, and he's back on at this pavilion end. Breeze just ruffling the back of his shirt, and Maxwell taking his time, and the last thing he looked at was that leg side boundary with the breeze, of course. And first up, he's hammered that down the ground, full toss. Only going to be one.
I reckon he fancies a bit of this, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, you just the last thing he looked at was that boundary and was like, okay. Can you feel it when you're out there as well, that breeze, and you're just like, yeah, if I can get that up on that wind, there's no stopping.
These days, if you just get it up now, it's like a lob wedge, isn't it? You can just get it up there and hope the wind takes it.
Not that he needs the help of the wind, as you mentioned. Yates has swept that, and he's swept it well for 4. Lovely shot from Rob Yates. I mean, you run out of superlatives for some of the shots we've seen from him so far. That's a terrific boundary. Just swept it away beautifully. And the form that man is in.
Unbelievable, isn't it? To say that we've obviously Haney's not been playing the last couple of weeks. We've not had Mo. You know, the last person you probably thought would step up to the plate like at the start of the year would have been Yates, and the way he's played has been absolutely outstanding. And look, I think he's sort of just writing himself a nice little 100 draft pick, I reckon, at the minute.
Yeah, that's Tuesday, isn't it?
Is it?
And it's two per club as well, isn't it, this time?
Oh yeah, it's 2, isn't it? Yeah, so 16 across the country. Yeah. I think unfortunately the Bears could lose a couple, you know, due to the success that we've had.
Yeah, well, you don't want that really, do you? As that's hammered down the ground again. That's just going to be 1, is it? It is. Yeah, interesting to see Mr. Lintott suddenly bowling himself into a decent bit of form.
Yes.
As well. Just perfect timing if ever there were. I mean, I was surprised it hadn't been picked up anyway.
Well, I was sort of getting stuck into him about his 50 overall this year, and he sort of, I think that's probably started getting him wickets. We don't want to play with me in August, but yeah, I think we could lose a couple. Not great for our 50 over team, but brilliant for them, and it just shows what a good T20 team we are.
That's lovely from Maxwell. He's picked the gap, but they're just going to turn it into 2 here. Fielders get round. It's good work from Graham Clark again, who feels like he's been running that boundary for the entire time. 92 for 3. Maxwell on to 10. Yates on to 45. Maxwell really taking his time here.
It's 10 off 8. I'd be loving that in T20, and Maxwell's taking his time. It's unbelievable.
Well, we've not seen one of his big shots, so we have seen one of his big shots, and it's gone high, and it could be caught, and it is caught. Safely pouched. Back with a square. That was me in my big mouth. Just decided to go for it, didn't he? And he's out. It's another wicket for Travaskis. Went for a few runs, but he's picked up the important wicket of Glenn Maxwell for 10, and the Bears are 92 for 4. Well, it was up in the air for an absolute eon before the catch was taken. But such is the strength in depth that the Bears have now. Dan Mousey comes to the crease. What can you say about him?
Another one. How well has he been playing? It's been unbelievable to watch these youngsters, these sort of 20, 21, 22-year-olds play. I mean, Jacob Bethel, another prime example. Just the skill that they've got. Just the heads on the shoulders. They've been absolutely outstanding. They've assessed conditions. Obviously, Dan's had a fantastic year with bat and ball, hasn't he? But the way they're playing and the confidence that they're now showing is fantastic. So. Dan, he loves these occasions, doesn't he? He's absolutely, you know, he's a fantastic cricketer, but thinks about the game. There's no luck involved. There's method to his madness, and long may it continue.
Yeah, we were saying last time out before the Worcester game, he said to me pre-game, I'm coming up later to collect my Man of the Match award, which he did. So
well, there you go. That's his confidence on the boy, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. As that's tickled round the corner by Yates, there's no run. It was actually as he came bounding out of the Bears Den studio. He wrapped his arms around me and went, I told you. He's just full of, he's loving life, isn't he?
He is.
And it's quite infectious, isn't it?
It is, yeah. He's one of those kids who you just, you know, shot.
It was, oh dear. Well, that second bit of fielding there, that was fairly atrocious. I think that was Ben Rain. It's gone for 4. It was a great shot from Yates, but Rangers almost just toppled over the ball.
He didn't want to chase that one, did he? He was disappointed with that one. Rainey has obviously played a lot of cricket recently. I think he's played every game this year, so might be a little bit of a tired body there. He's obviously done outstandingly well in the Championship this year. These tired bodies on the road as well. Obviously, schedule's been pretty hectic, and he's probably getting ready for another 40 overs this week, wherever they're playing on Monday.
To be fair for Durham as well, I mean, it's a trek, isn't it? Wherever they're playing, it's a trek.
It's a long way. Yeah, I spoke to Leesy, Alex Lees yesterday. Obviously, playing with him at Yorkshire. He's a good friend, and I think they stayed in Dudley last night, and that's not exactly around the corner, is it? So,
50 for Yates off 38 balls, 7 4s and 1 6. Yet another 50.
It is indeed, Adam. Yep, his 5th of the season, the most for any Birmingham Bears batter, and if we look at his runs as well, he is now the club's leading run scorer in 2023.
Sam Hain won't like that, will he?
No, he'll be hating that. Probably run him out on Thursday. I'm going to touch wood there, but no, yes, he's played beautifully well, hasn't he? He's actually been a pleasure to watch. He's not even looked like getting out in the previous 5 games as well, obviously, until he has got out, but the way he's gone about it has been fantastic.
97 for 4. Mousley plays Drissel back down the wicket. 2 balls to come in over 13. 50 off of 38 balls for Yates to go with that 65, 59, 66. His recent runs to 4 consecutive half centuries. There probably isn't anyone in better form right now. Maybe today's the day he turns it into the 3 figures.
Oh, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? It'd be nice. Or maybe just get a 70 or 80 and save the 100 for Thursday. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
98 for 4. Another 1 to the total. End of the over. 99 for 4 then. As things stand, Yates is on to 51. Mousley's on 1. We've got 7 overs remaining. Just in the Southern Group, got the Southern Group as well. That game between Surrey and Essex, is that?
Yeah, it's a very interesting one, to be honest, Adam. Surrey currently 86 for 3 after 10 overs, so plenty happening, and just some news from Old Trafford as well. Northampton's now struggling, 80 for 5 in the 12th over.
Okay, so Lancashire look like they're going to secure a spot, maybe. We shall see. 99 for 4, then 7 overs to go, and we're going to see Bushnell into the attack. So one of the changes that we saw in the side today.
Well, that's a very interesting one. Bowls, I'm not going to say military medium, he's a bit faster than that, but yeah, just hits line and length bowling. This is an interesting change here for Durham.
Yeah, we shall see what comes from it. Change from the spin we've seen. Obviously only 2, well, I would say pace bowlers, but from the way it's just been described, it's probably not. Are we talking Harry Brook style, is that?
Yeah, I think that's a great comparison, actually.
We're going Harry Brook style.
Oh, that's quicker than Harry Brook. I think Brook will be happy with that comment.
England have lost a wicket, by the way. 301 for 7, with 70 needed to win. Ben Stokes is out. You can tell Ben Stokes is out because everyone at Lord's is on their feet. 155 caught by Carey off the bowling of Hazelwood from 214 balls. The Bears 100's up here. 100 for 4 at the start of over number 14. All on Stuart Broad then to win the Test for England with the bat.
Could do. I'll tell you what, him and Robinson to bring it home. That'd be a fitting way, wouldn't it? That's a shot.
That's a shot from Mousley down the wicket, drilled for 4. Absolute beauty, and a sign of the confidence that boy's got right now. Absolutely stunning. No stopping it. Crack off the bat. Beautiful shot. Boundary off Bushnell. Only his second ball. 104 for 4. Maybe it's time to put the foot on the accelerator here for Yates and Dan Mousley. It's going to be a wide. Anything down that leg side will be punished. 105 for 4. Unless Nigel Long's the umpire, because he's a little bit more circumspect with his decision making. Well, we've got a beach ball popping around in the hollies as ever. Cut away, but straight to the fielder, and it is well fielded. Short third man, and there's no run. 105 for 4. Bushnell The only change to the Durham side in to replace Brandon Glover, who we think has missed out through injury. So the plan's a little bit depleted as, again, there's no run. I'm guessing Durham probably stayed down, did that, after the Worcester game on Friday?
Unsure, actually. I think that, yeah, that's the point, yeah. I forgot they were over in... Did they play Worcester?
Yeah, they actually batted well. Scored over 200 and chucked it down with Worcester on about 113, which happened to be the score for a tie. So it was a point each on Duckworth. Lewis, that is a really good catch. And he's gone for 5. That's Dan Mousley. It's 105 for 5 now. It's a really terrific catch, and Durham take another. And the Bears, midway through the 14th over, are now 5 down.
It's actually it's quite unlucky, that, isn't it? Dan's been caught by 2 absolutely unbelievable catches in the last 3 days there, hasn't he? Stoney, obviously a good friend or enemy, I don't know what you call Ollie Stone these days, but on Friday night, and then Braden Carse there. He'll be disappointed with that one, Mouse, but obviously he's got another opportunity. I think this is the beauty of it. There's another opportunity on Thursday, and you want to play your perfect game in the big games, don't you?
Yeah, you can tell by the way he's wandering off. He feels like he's missed out a little bit there, doesn't he? Because Bushnell, yes, a little bit quicker than military medium, but I think probably lucky to grab himself a wicket, and I think Dan quite fancied it. But it just allows another youngster to come to the wicket. Jacob Bethel is the new batsman, 105 for 5. Bethel, I think he scored 98 runs so far in this campaign, so only from 5 innings or 5 matches that he's played. So another one who's stepped up to the plate in the absence of others. Doesn't really kind of add to any pressure that's on Yates, because these two obviously batted pretty well together on Friday.
They did, yeah. The partnership was brewing nicely, wasn't it, until I think it was an unfortunate run out between the two. But Bethel's played some really good little cameos. His cameo at Headingley was I think if I remember rightly, was a good one. They had a good one here.
New Road, another one.
New Road as well. For obviously, he's a man now, isn't he? But for I guess for a boy who's still only 19, 20, he hits the ball unbelievably hard. Obviously, he's technically very good on the eye, isn't he? But he hits the ball so hard.
He does. He's wrapped on the pad this time, and there's no run. 105 for 5, and that brings to a close the over. 14 gone. Run rate 7.5. 6 to go then. In terms of target at this point, and what you're thinking, obviously we were talking about 200, but I mean with 6 overs to go, I think if we can get somewhere up around the 170 mark, that will be...
Yeah, I think 160 on this wicket would probably be a good score. What's that, 55 in 6 and just over 9 and over, 5 down, obviously got to remember that. A couple of left-handers that can access the short side, obviously they're going to probably go with a couple of overs of off-spin now as well, so need to take that into account. I think they'd be comfortable defending anything 160 or above.
Another one for Yates to the total, 53. I mean, we saw last night the scores around the 150 mark for the women's game, didn't we? So maybe this is one of those wickets that's going to be around that kind of level.
It was a thriller, wasn't it, last night? Yeah. Did you see the last over? It was unbelievable.
Great atmosphere as well, wasn't it?
Always is here at Edgbaston. It's looked like a obviously I wasn't here myself, but from people who were here, looked like a brilliant atmosphere.
Bethel just sweeps that, and it's just going to be 1. Just dropped short.
Yeah, some bad news unfortunately from Lords. Ollie Robertson has just been dismissed. England now 302 for 8. Also, with regards to Jonathan Bushnell, do owe him a little bit of an apology there. He's a lot quicker than when I saw him in 2021.
Oh, Yates has gone. He's got an edge to that, and Turner takes the wicket, and it's 6 down. Yates is out for 53 from 42 balls. And the Bears 107 for 6 now, midway through the 15th over.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, that one, isn't it? Yes, he's just looking good there. Probably needed him to go on and get to the 17th, 18th over. Looked like a little bit of spin though from Ashton Turner, and obviously he's not a massive spinner of the ball, so boys in the dugout won't be too disheartened by that. Obviously losing Yates is a massive blow, but replays up, a bit slower, maybe more a bit of bounce more than anything rather than a bit of spin, but like I say, the boys won't be too disheartened, because if it is taking a little bit, then we've obviously got, well, I think there's probably 5 or 6 of them who are going to put their hands up and bowl some spin later on. But obviously this bloke walking to the crease certainly won't be.
He certainly won't. Henry Brooks arrives with the score on 107 for 6. And he can give it the long handed occasionally, can't he?
He can, yeah, and he likes telling everyone about it when he does it, a couple of sixes. Another boy who's got a lot of confidence in his game and his ability. Probably not had the tournament that he probably wanted at the start of the campaign. He's been a little bit in and out, hasn't he? But he just nothing really phases him. He's that sort of character, and I think that's why guys like having him around. That's why he gets the nod a lot of times. Him and Craig Miles are two very not similar characters, but play the game the same way, if that makes sense, but go two different ways about going about it. They're both fantastic and really both enjoy the pressure.
It's not an easy life being a death bowler in this competition, is it? And I think sometimes that shows with Henry. He carries that round with him a lot of the time when he's needed in that. It doesn't phase him, but it's just tough.
Yeah, of course it is. And look at the way guys hit it now. You're actually probably going to fail more times than you succeed at the end of the innings, and Henry's probably been, at the forefront of that this year, but there's been plenty of games in his career, in his short career so far, where he's closed them out magnificently for the Bears.
108 for 6. Bethel will just tip that into the leg side. They'll just take one. 109 for 6. One ball to come in the over. Turner with 3 for 20 now. It's not a bad return for someone who's struggling throughout the campaign. Career best figures for Ashton Turner as well, which we did mention earlier on that he's not had a great season with the ball.
Yeah, that was correct. Averaging 160 before this game, so this has been quite some turnaround from Ashton Turner, as well said as well. Not a massive spinner of the cricket ball, but he's just generating bounce. He's got a little bit of grip and purchase out of the surface, but yeah, career best figures, well bowled, Ashton Turner.
Yeah, 109 for 6 then. Bethel's on 2, Brooks on 1, and again with 5 overs to go, you start revising total. Still thinking 160 would be good.
Be nice, wouldn't it? If Bethel gets going, then you never know. Obviously these two can both hit it. Jake Lintott batted unbelievably well on Friday night, and obviously we've got the big boy Dom Drakes, who could produce anything. I know we saw him a couple of years ago at Yorkshire, didn't we? And he can certainly give it a long handle, but I don't think I've seen him bowl a ball or hit a ball since he's been in England. So sometimes best when fresh, aren't you, Budgie?
Indeed. Travaskis is back into the attack. 2 for 20 so far from his 2 overs. Bethel works it into the leg side for 1. Is Lintott sitting in the dressing room now going, hello, why am I not going in ahead of Henry? Is that?
Well, he probably is. That's why I've come up here, because I've heard a lot of it for the last 4 days. He's been staying with me as well, in and around the 4-day stuff. So he's telling me how good his batting is, but he's one of these who backs it up as well. So
he does,
and he can hit a clean ball.
Yeah, I saw the highlights.
Oh, shot boy
down at Chelmsford. Well, whatever he was saying, Henry Brooks to Jake Lintott in response, he's shown that actually he can deliver as well. What a strike!
On the back of that shot, I can guarantee you Lintott would have told Henry that he should have gone in ahead of him. He's absolutely nowhere near that, Henry. That is a pure golf swing. Hits it well on the golf course, not always straight, but hits it clean whenever he does, and a couple more of them would be lovely.
Real beauty from Henry Brooks, who's on to 7. 116 for 6. There he goes again with raw power down the ground. It's well fielded, it's parried in fact. It's almost like a goalkeeper's save in the end down below by Michael Jones, and it prevents the boundary, but they still get 2. 118 for 6, and this is almost like the old days where you get to the last 5 overs and just swing the bat.
Just anything goes. Yeah, I think we've said with the wind and the short edge, that's a shot as well.
And again, cut away. It's going to reach the boundary, is it? Or is it going to be cut off? Oh, it's been cut off and parried over the ropes before. Well, it was a decent effort. But it's 4 more for Henry Brooks. He moves on to 13. The Bears 1-2-2 for 6.
This is definitely the end that Henry's going to target, isn't it? I've just saying there. Obviously, he's probably going to keep going with the wind towards the hollies there, and his access cover point beautifully there. So he's giving Travaskis something else to think about now, because he didn't want to miss wide and he didn't want to miss straight. So it could be quite interesting, these next 2 balls.
13 off the over so far, and that's going to be 6 more off the over from Henry Brooks. What a shot! 128 for 6. And Brooks is standing and delivering here at Edgbaston.
I don't mind this from Henry. He just lets Jacob at the other end just knock it around. It's actually quite smart batting. It's a good matchup for him. What's this, the 16th, and he's got the 18th and the 20th over. So if he can get through this over, then have a quiet one next over, he can then go again in the 18th over. Hitting towards the short edge.
1-2-8 for 6. He goes again, and he's drilled that one through the covers for 4. What a shot from Henry Brooks, and what an over for the Bears. 21, so 23 have come off the over from Travaskis. He had figures of 2 for 20. It's now 2 for 43, and the Bears have motored onto 132 for 6.
It's a great over. It's just given us that little boost up to 160, hasn't it? Look, fantastic over there from Henry. You know, it's smart batting. It's, you know, one of these things now with matchups, and obviously Aaron will tell you about stats and matchups and all that sort of stuff, but that's a good matchup for him to hit towards the short edge, hit downwind, good levers, good strong boy, and another one, he hits a lot of balls in the winter, and fair play to him, you know, it's for these situations, so good on him.
I'm thinking Henry's top score is mid-30s?
31 outs against Northants in 2020.
Yeah, I thought it was something similar, so he's approaching that. 23 off 7. Striking at 300.
Well, if I'm Henry now with a top score of 31, I'm trying to get 32, and then I'm trying to go long handle, I reckon.
Bethel's on strike, the leggy's back into the attack, and it's just going to be one and give Henry the strike. Oh, I'm sure that wasn't the game plan when Henry came out. Bethel knocks the one and let Henry take it.
I'll take this one, Beth. Don't worry. But that's the thing. That's confidence with these youngsters now. They don't let anything faze them, and Henry's always getting onto the coaches to ask them to throw balls, trying to launch them. Sometimes it pulls the coach's hair out, but when he strikes it like that, you don't really mind.
No, and given that last shot of the previous over for 4, that short offside boundary could be open up to him. He just gets a single this time though. Moves on to 24. I mean, it was such rough luck last season with his injury, wasn't it? Because that basically kept him out for the majority of it, didn't it?
Yeah, he's had some bad injuries in his Warwickshire career. He obviously started off, didn't he, in his first couple of years by bowling absolute raw pace, and that was when I first came to the club. And since then, he's had a couple of injuries, but his skill level's still high. But it has on the upside to that, it's let him work on his bat. Get over.
That's a big one from Bethel, and he's gone. He took on the leggy, and he's out. Bethel goes for 4. And it's a 7th wicket down, 134 for 7. Good catch on the ropes again by Clark. And Bethel goes for 4. And it should be Jake Lintop coming in next, you would think. No, it's going to be Drakes who enters the fray next for the Bears. At the same time as that happened, Stuart Broad is out at Lords, and Australia within 1 wicket of victory. England still needing 69 more runs to win. Broad out for 11 off 36 balls. Aaron, while Jakes makes his way out, anything happening elsewhere in the North Group that we should be aware of?
Well, yes, Northants 114 for 5 up at Old Trafford. Worcestershire motoring at the Incora ground, 152 for 2, and then Notts 126 for 5 in the 16th over at Trent Bridge. By the way, guys, watch out for this guy, Dominic Drakes, number 48. That is his career best score in T20 cricket. He hit it in the 2021 CPL final for the Patriots.
There we go, and he's arrived. Of course, the son of Vaspert Drakes. St Kitts and Nevis. It must be terrible playing for them. What an awful life it must be. Here he is though, left-hand bat, 134 for 7. The replacement for Hassan Ali for the rest of this T20 campaign. He's a big lad. He's gone first ball, up in the air, and he's going to be out. Well, it was short-lived. It was the toe end of his bat, and Drakes has gone for naught, and the Bears 134 for 8.
Could have done with giving himself a little sighter there.
He's looking at the toe end of his bat. We could all tell from the sound.
Yeah, it didn't make a great sound off the toe end, did it? Oh look, I'm not sure. Not sure that's the best of Dom that we're going to see, or hopefully not the best of Dom that we're going to see with a bat in a Bears shirt, and he can produce the goods on Thursday. Look, it's one of those things. It's obviously a game plan, and the guys on the bench will have had that, you know, hitting against the leg spinner, left-hander. It's options probably a good one. Obviously the execution probably not quite there.
Jake Lintop comes to the crease. We'll talk about his bowling a little bit later, but batting-wise, of course, the hero against Notts on Friday night, along with Yates, seeing the Bears through to victory. And he joins Henry Brooks, who I'm sure is handing out the advice. It's a conversation I'd like to eavesdrop on.
I'd love to be a fly around that conversation. I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm not sure who the senior partner is here. It could be very interesting. I think everyone can take the guess who it is. I would probably say Jake is the senior man, obviously. He's played a little bit more cricket, but Henry will be telling him about his strike rate right now.
Hat-trick ball for Sota as well, and Lintott plays it back, and it was a bump ball just for a moment. I think Sota was going to throw that one up in the air. 134 for 8. Criminal not to see out the 20 overs here, really. Lintott turns it round the corner. There's going to be no run, and it's the end of a good over. Couple of wickets. The Bears on 134 for 8 as things stand with 3 overs remaining. Brooks on 24, but again it will be Brooks on strike, and or maybe a chance. I think Ben Rain's coming back into the attack. Don't forget your FanCraze cards. You can scan the QR code or head to fancraze.com to get yourself some of those digital collectibles. And it is going to be Rain to return. 3 overs to go. He's got a couple of them, of course. So one probably assumes they'll carry on with spin at the other end.
Yeah, I think Souta's got one left, has he? I think he's got 1 over left, so I think they'll go Rainey both overs from this end, and then Souta at the other end. Unless Rain gets a little bit of tap in this over. Very skillful though, good canny operator. Actually, he's got a T20 here at Edgbaston, if I'm right in saying.
You're right, I was there for that 2018 for Leicestershire. Yeah, 113 from 46 balls, and in terms of wickets against the Bears, 15 wickets over the course of 13 matches. So when we talk about T20 bogeymen, there he is for the Bears, Mr. Ben Rain.
He's taken 15 this season as well in this competition, so he's having a good campaign so far, and that's a full toss to Henry Brooks, who has no option but to defend that. Trying to liven the crowd up. 134 for 8, so 3 overs to go. 160 still on the cards if Brooks can get firing again. Run rate just shy of 8 and over as things stand. There is Brooks, slower ball, waited for it. In the end, just gets the 1. Lintott's on strike. Brooks moves to 25 from 10 balls. Lintott yet to score. 135 for 8. As we say, quarter-final already secured. Of course, that's on Thursday night. It will be here. 6:30 start. Tickets are a tenner, and they're available now. If you want to get your hands on them, try and pack Edgbaston on Thursday night for that quarter-final. Get the best atmosphere. Yet to find out who the Bears will be facing. Oh, he's bowled it right through him. Lintott's beaten by Rain, and he's out for naught. It's 135 for 9.
Like a good slow ball. That looked like it just got a little bit of drift back into Jay Lintott there. Good plans, good field for that ball. Jake will be disappointed with that after his heroics on Friday. Just looked like it skidded through off the slow ball. And there he is, the big fella, after playing I think Aaron said it was about 12 years since his last T20. Well, it feels like anyway. So he's coming out a little bit earlier than I think he'd have wanted though.
So obviously he played at Notts on Friday. When was this last T20 game here?
It was August 2019, and actually looking at his scores with the bat in hand, his career best is 14 not outs from 7 balls, Oliver Hannon-Dalby. So in T20 cricket, not too bad with the bat in hand.
Yeah, but I saw him having a knock the other week, and well, he edged a few behind, let's put it that way.
I was going to say, if he gets 40 not out from here...
14.
14. 14. Oh, right,
14.
Well, there we go. I'm a little bit more safe, because he might nick a few for 4, but... yeah, he's definitely in a little bit earlier than he'd have liked. But like Aaron says, we were speaking earlier, but it shows a good captain that I didn't pick him for a single game under my reign. And now he's back in, so... fine bowler, he's been a fine T20 bowler and red ball bowler for the Bears and throughout his career. What was it, 450 career wickets he passed a few weeks ago, so
he did, yep.
Some cricketer, I think the thing about Ollie that everyone loves is he's just a better bloke than most on the circuit as well.
He's a good guy.
He's fantastic to be around, and again, like Dan Mosey, he's very infectious to be around. You always want to spend time with him, and he's always good to watch him out of a bunker on a golf course as well, because he can blow up.
135 for 9 then. 15 balls of the innings remaining. Can these two, Brooks and Hannon-Dalby, see him through? Hannon-Dalby on strike, that's going to be a wide. It's down the leg side from Rain. Went inside the cut-off as Rain looked like he was trotting back to his mark, but about 10 minutes or so before cut-off. And the start of that final over, 136 for 9. Alan Dolby on strike. And it's Rain bustling in once more. And again, wraps the pads this time. There's no run. Not the swashbuckling end to a T20 innings we've become used to, really.
Not on the Bears in the last couple of years, no. It's a little bit of a far cry from the 200, but look, you won't bet against us to try and defend this, would you?
No, exactly. It looks like a wicket that's going to help, particularly those slow bowlers, as we've seen for Durham. 136 for 9. Again on the pads, and he's just skidding that ball through, isn't he?
Not sure Ollie will have done too much hitting before the game today. I think obviously coming in at 11, I don't think 11's batted for us too many times this year, so, or whether he even hit any balls, I'm unsure as well.
It's quite sad he's not got a bat deal there either, has he? That looks like a homemade job. There's no stickers on that one.
I think he embraces that though, Adam. I think
yeah.
What he does do is he asks a lot of lads in the changing room for bats. He's probably got 6 bats from 6 different batters in the changing room.
Here's Rain again. That's a straighter ball that was on the stumps, and he does know he's playing T20, doesn't he?
Well, it's just getting Henry on strike, isn't it? It's clever batting from Ollie. I'll tell you one pair of kit he is wearing, that is mine, and that's his gloves. I end up giving him about 4 pairs of gloves over the winter, so, and he said they'll last him his career, which is whether that's his pro career or a bit of club cricket after. But nah, he's a good man. Might be a thief and nick some kit, but he's a good man to go with it.
Good over from Rain, just 2 off it, and the wicket, of course. 136 for 9, so 12 balls to come. Brooks is on 25, Hannon Dolby yet to score. It's all on Henry then to try and get the Bears over 150. England are clinging on still at Lords. Australia need 1 wicket, England needs 64. I mean, it'd be some miracle if Anderson and Tongue got them over the line, really, wouldn't it? But however unlikely that may seem. 136 for 9. No run from the first ball of Souttar's over. 2 for 20 so far for the leggy. And we said his economy rate's down around the just over 6 mark. He's on target to do that again unless Henry can take him to town. They've run the first quickly, but just be the one for Henry Brooks, who's on to 26. Closing in on that high score, 31 not out in this format of the game.
I think that's quite clever batting from Henry. I think he's going to obviously try and get through this over. Hopefully Ollie can get him off strike and then use the short edge last over and try and target that one off Ben Rain. Obviously if Ollie can get him back on strike, then that'd be great.
He's hit something. Maybe just the gloves of the wicketkeeper there. An extravagant movement from Ollie. On strike again. Souttar once more. It's classically played out into the offside.
It's not doing much for his T20 strike rate, is it, this?
No, not in the slightest, but, you know, a red inker of naught, not out.
Absolutely.
Oh, lovely sweep. I'm surprised he's not done that before, to be fair. With those legs and those levers.
He's timed that beautifully, hasn't he? He's almost got it to the boundary there.
So Henry will look to grab a single off this last ball, you feel, to allow him a final over assault on Ben Rain, so he can hit towards the Hollies, and Brooksy will grab that single. 1 more to the total, 139 for 9 then. Hannon Dolby on 1, Brooks on 27. I'm guessing if you're in the chair at half time, you probably need to run and leave us.
Do I need to go, do I?
I think you probably do, but
okay.
thank you. We'll have you back in a bit.
Catch you second innings.
Yes, it's a quadruple dose of Will Rhodes. First innings, second innings, interval as well. On Bears Den TV, he'll be with Artif shortly. 139 for 9 then. Final over to come. Henry Brooks on strike. Ben Rain to bowl it. No surprise, a couple of fielders going out onto that leg side boundary and straight as well. Rain will probably just try and hustle these through. Maybe we'll see the odd slower ball as well here from Ben Rain as he bowls to Brooks. And that's just literally a whisker outside the off stump from Ben Rain. 1 for 23 as he starts his 4th and final over. Hannon Dolby on 1. Brooks on 27. Remember that high score of Henry Brooks in this competition, 31 not out. Chance to maybe better that. Rain is back at his mark once more. Brooks has got that on the toe end. It's going to be a single. Brings Hannon Dolby on to strike. How many runs has Hannon Dolby scored in T20 cricket?
Over the course of his career, 53. And in terms of that sweep shot for one, that was his first run in the format in over 4 years. So fair play to OHD for for getting off the mark there.
Yep, you can't argue with the statistics, really, can you? He is your original number 11.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it.
110%. But you know what? As Will was saying, he's done his job, hasn't he? He's got off the mark. He's trying to get Henry on strike again for the Bears, looking for gaps here. If he can just get the single, try and get Henry back on strike and hopefully hit a 4 or 6.
He's tried to ramp it and scoop it. He's got one off the toe end of the bat. Who knew? Who knew he had that in his locker?
Well, he did that against Somerset, first game of the season. And he's pulled it out again. He did against Lewis Gregory. I'll never ever forget that. He didn't get a connection on it, but I wonder where that's come from, Adam. Do you know where he's been practicing that?
I suspect he spent the winter trying it, but perhaps with a little bit more success than what we've seen today. 3 more balls to go. 1 for 1 for 9. Brooks is on strike. And well, I don't know what that's hit, missed, struck. I mean, it's missed the stumps.
I think it may have hit Robinson on his pad.
Looked like it was on target to me. I was quite surprised that it would have ended up at Robinson. But it's rain again with 2 to come. Bit of blue sky above, but plenty of cloud around here at Edgbaston today. What looks like a really nice crowd in. 1 for 1 for 9. 2 balls to come. What kind of target can the Bears set here? Brooks is on strike. Sets himself. And Hannon Dolby's got a long way up. This is going to be out. Surely it is out. He's run out. Henry Brooks sent him back, going for the quick single. And Hannon Dolby run out for 2. And the Bears finish on 141 all out with a ball to spare. There was 1 left in the over before the run out, and Hannon Dolby doesn't look happy as he trudges off that Henry Brooks sent him back, but he's gone. 1 for 1 for 9 is where the innings ends, and a disappointing innings all in all for the Bears. Never really got motoring. Yates again delivering the top score once more in a Bears shirt, as he's done week after week it seems, and the target will be 142 for Durham when they return. Davis was out early on for 19 off of Turner. Benjamin went for 4 off Travaskis, and then Hayne contributed just 12, Maxwell 10, Mousey 5, Bethel 4, Brooks finishing 28 not out, Naught for Drakes and Lintott, and then Hannon Dolby is run out for 2. 141 is the score. So when we come back,
well, there we go. 141 for 9. Well, all out, I beg your pardon. There was still a delivery to come as well. Disappointing from the Bears on what we thought would be a good batting surface. We had Craig Miles before predicting 205 for 6. They fell a long way short of that, Craig. Very pleased to have joining me right now, once again here on Bears Den TV, the captain of Warwickshire, the club captain, Will Rhodes. Will, welcome back to the show. Disappointing total today, if we're honest.
Yeah, it was. Look, I think they'd have wanted a little bit more than that after the power play and the way that they started. Obviously, Al Davis got us off to an absolute flyer, and then Yates, he played a really mature knock in the middle part. Yeah, obviously he seems to be doing it every game, which is fantastic. So disappointed with that score. I think probably 20, maybe 25 under what they thought, maybe at halfway. But look, we've seen a lot of spin today, and I'm sure we'll see a lot of spin in the second innings.
Yeah, I bet our spinners were looking at that thinking they're going to be in the game. And it's not all doom and gloom, because the Bears did defend 137 against Northamptonshire. Thank you, Jarlath Eaton, for that stat. Just a few games ago, in fact. So, I mean, this is an opportunity, really, for the bowlers to stand up. The batters have done it so often. It's an opportunity for the bowlers to kind of just get into to put in a special performance ahead of the quarterfinals?
100%. You don't want to be going into that quarter-final, I guess, on a loss as well. And I guess the guys in the change room will be wanting to, or putting a bit of pressure on trying to get that 11th win in the campaign, and using that as sort of motivation and using that as a bit of pressure towards the quarter-final. So there is something to play for. There's obviously that on the back of it, nothing really on the game, but you want to go in with a win and go in with a little bit of form into the quarter-final. So I'm sure the guys like Jake Lintott, Dan Mosley, Glenn Maxwell, and obviously the couple of seamers, Drakes as well, will be wanting to get some sort of overs under the belt and produce some quality before Thursday.
Yeah, there's a big opportunity, as you say, for the spinners, and the spinners have been in good touch. You mentioned Dan Mosley, got a bag of wickets this season already. Just to go back to our innings, it's been a bit bare in terms of strong performances, but Rob Yates, he's on the run of a lifetime. A 60-odd score against Nottinghamshire a couple of nights ago in what turned out to be a match-winning effort, and consistently scoring those 50s in that sort of 20 to 30 ball mark. He's found something, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He's played really, really well. He's hit his areas. He's stuck to one game plan or a couple of game plans to certain wickets and been a real good asset to the top of the order since, I guess, Mo's left. And that's what we've been looking for, really, someone to join Davo and get us off to those flying starts and carry the momentum through. I've been lucky enough to witness him from the sidelines in a couple of games, and he's played some really mature innings, and I think that knock on Friday will have done him the world of confidence. Almost seen us over the line in a tight game and almost that pressurised game to get us to a home quarter-final. He'd have been disappointed to not go on and get an 80-plus score today, but hopefully he's saving that for Thursday. But the consistency that he's shown has been fantastic. He's fifth 50 this year, so credit to him. I think Adam on commentary said he's the leading run scorer now for the Bears, and I guess him and Sam will be having a tussle on Thursday, and hopefully when we get to finals day, to see who can come out on top in the charts.
Yeah, Sam will be gutted because he looked like he was timing it quite nicely. Just picked out that fielder at backward point, but just him coming back into the side. I mean, Ed Barnard's no mug, obviously a brilliant bowling all-rounder, but to have Sam Hain back in that side, a player of that form, that magnitude now in the game, just thinking ahead to the quarterfinals a little bit, like that is hugely valuable for the Bears.
Huge. He's obviously one of the best players in the country, isn't he? His white ball record in List A cricket and T20 cricket speaks for itself. So to have someone like that coming back in, it was always the plan to play this game for him, just to have a knock before the quarterfinal. You don't want to be going into something like that rusty. So for him to come back in, I think of 12 or 15 balls, he won't be worried about that. It's just that time at the crease that is valuable to him, and hopefully he can come good for us again on Thursday.
Now, 141 is what they're defending. We mentioned that they've defended 137 before against Northants. What is the key? I mean, you're the club captain. You're a captain. You've been in that scenario. What is the key to defending a low total in a T20 game?
I think wickets in the power play, isn't it? That game against Northants, I think we took 3 or 4 in the power play. So I think wickets up front. Even if they get off to a bit of a flyer, they'll be thinking wickets, because the way they're going to win this game is to bowl them out. I'm not sure they're going to keep them under if we don't bowl them out. So wickets in the power play, and then looking to take them all the way through, being aggressive with fields, aggressive with plans. You might have to bring an extra person into the ring and outside the power play and just have the 4 men out. So I'm sure Dave will be clever with his plans. I think he's been outstanding as captain this year. Some of the decisions he's made, not just team selection but on the field as well, has been fantastic, the way he's rotated his bowlers. So hopefully he can produce something with his captaincy, but I think wickets up top will be crucial in this chase, and get an 11th win for the Bears.
Yeah, it could happen. An 11th win could still happen. We've seen them defend it before, and I must tell you, I was at Leicestershire watching Leicestershire versus Durham last week, and Durham had that game sewn up and somehow just failed to get across the line. Maybe that's something they'll repeat here today. I'm sorry about that, Marty Emerson, my friend who's the commentator for Durham. I apologise, but we've got to keep the hope for the Bears going. Just a side note here as well, Will. I mean, there's a big match happening down in London. A lot of public interest in it for obvious reasons, but we still get a monster turnout. They said to me upwards of 6,000 people are in the stadium today. I mean, that's crazy, right?
It's fantastic. There's so many more people than than what I thought there would be. Obviously it's the interest, isn't it? When you play well and you have such a good campaign, that's what you can do. You can attract people, and people want to come and watch. People pay their good hard-earned money to come and watch. So credit to the guys, credit to the squad what they've produced this year, especially at home. They've played some very entertaining cricket. Obviously the game against Northants were a little bit short with the bat, but then what they did with the ball was absolutely outstanding. So that's credit to them, and obviously I'm sure a lot of people here today will be coming back Thursday as well with a lot of other people and trying to get near a sellout, because the guys the guys are looking good this year, and just that missing pieces to get to finals day in the campaign.
And yeah, just a reminder to everybody, tickets for Thursday are on sale, and they are a bargain. £10 for adults, £5 for juniors. Like, you must get yourself down to Edgbaston if you can on Thursday night. It'll be a huge atmosphere, and I'm sure it'll be a huge turnout as well. A night game as well, so the lights will be on. It'll be wonderful. It'll be amazing. So I wanted to talk about Dominic Drake's into this team. 3 days ago, the news breaks that he's coming in for Hassan Ali US to go for international duty. How difficult is that to just fit into a team straight away, and also now to defend 141? Like, that's, you know, a baptism by fire.
It is, yeah, but he's obviously played around the world, and he's probably used to travelling in and playing games here, there and everywhere. So he's an experienced character. He's been obviously to the IPL, he's played in the CPL and other various franchise tournaments around the world. He knows a couple of the guys in the dressing room, Jacob Bethel and Chase Simmons down there, so it's not like he's too unfamiliar with a lot of the guys. Yes, he doesn't know perhaps many others, but, you know, it's always good when you know a couple of people. So he obviously failed with a bat today, but he'll be, you know, obviously speaking to him briefly at Trent Bridge on Friday, and in the warm-ups today, he'll be wanting to put that right and put on a show with the ball. Obviously, Barnard's, you know, missing out today, so he's obviously coming for Eddie, and Ed will be, you know, there if obviously Dom doesn't put in a performance. So I'm sure I'll be looking to get a couple of wickets there and get ready for Thursday.
So give me a prediction for this. Bear in mind there's only one right prediction, but like, give me like a little scenario. How are the Bears winning this game?
I think we're winning by 8. I think it's going to be a good game. Always good. So what's that? I bowled out for sort of 130 to 135. Maybe in the last over. That'll be nice.
That sounds very exciting. I hope my mum and dad in the crowd, I hope they get to see that kind of result. It's going to be spectacular. Stay tuned. The Bears can do this. An 11th win? Maybe. To guide you through the action very shortly, you're going to hear the sounds of Mr. Adam Bridge.
So we wait the arrival of the 2 umpires, of course, and the Bears, plus the opening batsman for Durham. As we mentioned earlier, just one change for them today. That was the inclusion of Jonathan Bushnell for Brandon Glover. So we expect to see Graham Clark and Alex Lees that will open the batting for Durham. Play should be back underway in a few minutes' time, of course. Clark's having a pretty good season as well. 348 runs to his name so far. And Alex Lees, of course, is one of those who's always contributing in T20 cricket, that's for sure. England's still clinging on, by the way. Australia still need one more wicket to try and win the Test match down at Lords. England need 59 more runs. And Robinson and Anderson are putting on it's Tongue and Anderson are doing okay as things stand. They're not whittling down the runs very quickly, to be fair. And I think they've worn a few. Anderson's just worn one on the grill. I think Tongue's worn one on the helmet as well. So 56 more needed, 315 for 9 for England. If we thought it'd be a miracle with Ben Stokes delivering, what would it be if Tongue and Anderson deliver the winning runs? The Bears are in a huddle, the umpires are back, and it will be Clark and Lees to get us back underway. And in terms of run chases, obviously not dissimilar, Aaron, to what happened here against Northants, maybe.
Well, that's the hope, isn't it, if you're of a Bears persuasion? Yeah, Northants, unfortunately, being unable to what was it, 137 runs it was in that game. But that was a very, very spin-heavy wicket. I suppose you could argue the same for this one. There has been some turn from the likes of Souter, Ashton Turner as well. So if you are the Bears, I think it's spin to win, isn't it? Let's be honest. Maybe open up with the seamers, try and get some early wickets in the power play, but yeah, I think the onus for today will be on the likes of Glenn Maxwell, Dan Mosley, and of course the leg spin of Jake Linton.
It's going to be Lancashire all over again, isn't it? Taking all 10 wickets with spin. Who knows? Will Rhodes is back. I missed a lot of your positive chat at half-time where you kind of said, yeah, we got this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure that's what you did say.
I'm always backing the boys. I think we're going to back them in. Might even see a little over from Rob Yates as well at some stage. That'd be nice. But
you gave him the ball in the Red Bull game, didn't you, as well?
You know, I'm always backing the lads in, aren't I? So. But obviously up front it's Dom Drake's, isn't it? I'm interested to see he was hitting the mitt hard at Trent Bridge in the warm-up. He came down just to show his face and be around the boys. So this could be quite an interesting over.
Yeah, we'll see what he's got to offer. Dom Drake's, in terms of his bowling figures, we talked very briefly about his batting and his top score. Didn't quite work out. But what about the bowling?
Well, to be honest, he's a very handy bowler. 43 wickets over the course of 43 career T20 matches. The economy rate is quite expensive, 9.13, but he is a top and tail kind of bowler, bowls in the power play and at the death. And in terms of career best figures, 3 for 26 against the Guyana Amazon Warriors in 2021.
And he played for Yorkshire last year, didn't he?
Correct.
10 wickets?
10 wickets in 5 matches.
Okay, not bad. He's in. Start us off. First ball is on the money as well. And it's going to be Graham Clark who's facing up first. And there's no run off the first ball. Must be tricky coming in at this point in a campaign, though. I mean, first of all, it's probably hard having a scout round to try and find somebody, particularly after Hassan as well have made such an impact.
There's obviously a few guys, you know, available, but you want to bring in that quality, don't you? Especially when you lose someone like Hass, who is world class. You need someone with that quality to bring in. So. You know, guys say good things about Dom, and you know, I've not seen much of him personally, but first couple of balls have certainly been on the money.
Yeah, they certainly have. There's no run. Clark on strike. First 2, very good on this occasion from Dominic Drakes. Tight call going down at Lords for a potential wicket off the gloves of Anderson, but it's actually hit the gloves which aren't in contact with the bat, which just reminds me of 2005 and here and Kasparovich and that crucial finale in the Ashes Test. But England go on 3:15 for 9 down there. Drakes again, he's on the money, bowling to his field well.
Yeah, this is what you want, isn't it? You need to start well in these sort of games. Just saying to Atif there, you need to try and get wickets, and obviously building pressure with a good start here will do that. But Bears will be looking for 2 or 3 wickets in this first 6.
Deep fielders are as you would expect. We've got a third man and a deep square leg. Fine leg is up inside the circle. It's a lengthy old run in here from Drakes as well, from the edge of the circle in fact. It's drilled into the ground, almost flat batted by Clark. He'll get 2 for it. Lintott doing the fielding, and they're off the mark, and Clark's on his way. My score of 102 not out this season, Clark. There's a few of those Durham players that have got decent runs. Ollie Robinson's up around the 320 mark, something like that. Maybe it's 370, I can't read my handwriting. Ashton Turner with 278 as well. So a few of them, considering where they are in the table, a few of them have batted really well in this competition.
Yeah, good. They're actually quite a dangerous team, aren't they? They're quite a dangerous outfit. So gave us a good run for the money up north when we went on the little road trip. I don't think we batted particularly well that day, but yeah, they're a dangerous team. I'm surprised they've got the record that they have in the group stage.
Yeah, just missing a bit on the bowling front, really.
Yeah,
was Robinson 370 or 320?
370, spot on, Adam. Yeah. But I think when it comes to Durham, obviously they've had a lot of individual performances. You mentioned that 100 from Graham Clark, but in terms of as a team, only 2 scores above 200. I think it's the runs as well have been a little bit of an issue.
Last ball of the over. Clark has gone up in the air, and this could be a first wicket for Drakes in a Bears shot, and it is! And it's Maxwell who takes the catch. Clark has gone. He's out for 2. And they've lost their first wicket at the end of the first over. And he's only just arrived, but Dominic Drakes strikes for the Bears. Clark's out for 2, and it's 2 for 1 at the end of the first over.
Tell you what, if you're going to get out first ball, the best way to make yourself a fan favourite is to get a wicket in your first over, and he's done just that. So fair play to him. He'll have been disappointed down in the changing rooms at half time, but good on him there. That's a great first over. He set the tone beautifully there. Yeah, we thought a lot of spin would happen. I think they're going to save spin for maybe the middle overs, because it looks like big holes coming on at the far end. So it's a great start though. You know, 2 for 1 off the first over. You can't ask for much more than that.
You can't. Michael Jones is the new batsman, and his record against the Bears?
Not great actually. 39 runs over the course of 3 matches with a strike rate of exactly 100, but he is very dangerous. Career best score of 86 from 55. Very strong on the offside is Michael Jones, so just something for Oliver Hannon-Dorby to just be aware of in this innings.
Here is OHD. How many wickets has OHD taken in T20 cricket?
Well, it's interesting. He's actually the club's 4th all-time leading wicket taker in the Blast. 71 wickets over the course of 56 matches with an 8.97 economy rate. But he hasn't taken a wicket since the 9th of August 2019. So fingers crossed OHD could get that wicket in this particular game.
In from the Birmingham end and immediately on the money. Lees Just plays it back down, and it's fielded once more by Maxwell. Taker of the catch in that first over. 2 for 1 then. I saw the chief exec outside and said a few more runs would have been nice. He went, we can get through this. I think he's got all the confidence in the world.
I think he's got to, hasn't he? As the boss, he's got to have all the confidence in the world. I think. I think we've seen a couple of times this year, obviously that Northants game. I think the guys will be living off that and using their experiences of what happened in that game to try and win this game as well.
OHD in again. Lees makes good contact, but no run.
I think, like we said about trying to get some wickets in the power play, I think wouldn't surprise me if the Durham boys try and put our boys under a little bit of pressure and try and get a bulk of the runs in the power play. We saw how difficult it was in those middle overs to sort of rotate a strike and find the boundary, so wouldn't surprise me if Leesy and Jones come quite hard here.
Yeah, I thought Clark was a bit unnecessarily kind of going for it in that first over. I didn't really feel there was a need, but Annan Dolby's in again, and there's just going to be one because it's going to burst through the hands of Lintott, who's fielding in close. The first 3 balls were on the money. Obviously he grabbed a single, and then the next one he's got a wild swipe at and hardly made contact. I just didn't feel there was a need in the first over when you're chasing only 1-4-2.
No, there's obviously been, you know, positive and reckless, wasn't it? And I think the last couple of balls were quite reckless there. You know, he's obviously a dangerous player, and he gets a lot of quick starts in this competition, and he's had a really good campaign. But like you say, chasing 7 over, there's always an opportunity just to give yourself a couple more balls than you probably need to. If you know, if the Bears had obviously got 200, then it's a different game, isn't it? You got to go from ball 1, but you know, you got to read conditions and get that back to the guys in the bench.
Jones is on strike to OHD, and again right on the money from Ollie. I saw him warming up pre-game. Looked to be hitting a really nice length. I thought he was unlucky actually against Notts. I don't think any of the he seemed to be bowling a good length towards the end, but I think at that point Moores was just seeing it like a football, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Like Aaron said, he's not played a game for 4 years, and when you're coming in against a guy who's a good hitter of the ball, you know, obviously you can nail Yorkers in practice, but once you do it in a game, it's obviously quite difficult, isn't it? And when you haven't been exposed to a game for 4 years, it can be quite difficult. It's a lovely shot.
It is. Jones is away. He's off the mark after the 5th ball of Hannon Dolby's over. It was a really nice shot from Jones. They move on to 7 for 1 with 1 ball remaining in the second over. Lees is on 1, Jones on 4, as we mentioned. Right hand bat, who again has been in dangerous form this campaign without really contributing massive scores. As we were saying about this Durham side, collectively just passing 200 twice. Short, pulled away, and it brought around the change in length from OHD, and he's punished for it. It's another boundary. 11 for 1 at the end of the second over. Again, when you've not played that much T20 cricket, how you respond to being driven for 4 slightly shorter, you get punished.
Yeah, it's just that confidence, isn't it? You know, obviously it's a little bit different in red ball cricket to what he's been playing over that period of time. Obviously he's played a lot of 50 over cricket in the last few years, so there is a little bit of exposure there, but it's a different game now, isn't it? T20 to probably what it was 4 years ago. It's, you know, it's always evolving, always getting better, so might just take him a couple of overs to get into it.
Drakes is getting a second over here from the pavilion end. They'll get a single. Lee's fairly active as he plays that off his pads for 1. Davis will take. So you're right, looks like we're going to see spin in the middle overs with no Barnard bowling option wise. Of course, we've got Henry Brooks too, who I suspect will bowl the next one at the Birmingham end, with Ollie having been carted for those 2 fours. I mean, bear in mind the number of spin options we've got, you kind of feel what? You need to get 8 overs out of your pace bowlers here, probably, and then 12 out your spinners?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it wouldn't surprise me if they might even go Dan Mosley next over, just with the longer side, and Leesy hitting towards the short edge. So
Drake's in again. May well get his second wicket here. It's up in the air. I don't think anyone's going to get there, are they? No. It's over the boundary ropes for 6. Well, it was up for a long time, and Jones has found the ropes. It wasn't what he intended, but it's absolutely flown. There was some pace on that from Drake's. 18 for 1.
You need a little bit of fortune, don't you, to get your innings going, and that's a good one, isn't it? Obviously, it's actually quite a big hit, actually. going that way. Choosing the pace there, obviously a little bit, lucky, I guess, but some good pace from Big Dom building up here.
Yeah, he looks like he's coming in at a fair old lick. That one's outside the off stump, but it's dragged into the leg side. One more to the total, 19 for 1. Jones moves on to 15. Lees is on 2. Drakes has that usual, what I call a West Indian swagger, doesn't he? It's just that relaxed, calm look. Nothing seems to faze him. Big smile. Quick change in the field as well here for Lees. She's orchestrated with Davis. England need 47 more to win. 3-2-4 for 9 now. Down at Lords. Drakes is in again. Can't quite field off his own bowling. They're going to rush through for 1. It's a good throw from Henry Brooks. It's unfortunate actually. It bounced over the top of the stumps there. 20 for 1. One more to the total. Lee's on to 3. Brings Jones on to strike. 1-4-2 the target, remember. Bears all out for 1-4-1. Home quarter-final already secured for Thursday night. £10 a ticket. Trying to fill Edgbaston if we can. The atmosphere for the Worcester game with, 18,000 in was just off the charts. More of that on Thursday night, please. Drakes again, that's a good ball. Falling outside off stump. Good response. For someone who is making his debut. Pretty tidy so far, 11 from his first 11 balls, but that all-important wicket of Graham Clark. 20 for 1. Last ball to come. I don't suppose you'll be signing a replacement for Hassan for the red ball?
I think the guys in the background are looking at seeing what the options are. Like I said, we want someone with quality if we are going to sign anyone.
Oh, he's almost got him there. Jones has missed it. It's missed the off stump as well. Good way to finish the over on that occasion from Dominic Drakes. 3 gone, 20 for 1.
I think Glenn Maxwell's going to come on and bowl there. Going back to your point about the red ball, I think like I said before, you want to sign people with quality and proven records. So it's just obviously with all the franchise leagues going around, all the tours, international tours, it's obviously hard to try and get these people. And you want someone who's going to fit into the environment as well, and someone that either people have played with or you get word of mouth that are good players. So I think the guys are working hard to try and get someone for Monday, but if we don't, then obviously we've got guys out there who more than fit the bill.
Maxwell is into bowl, cut away by Lees and back in his crease very quickly. There's no run. I guess as well with injuries as well with Craig.
Yeah, Craig, Liam. It's obviously and Haas going away. There's 3 main seamers there who would have all certainly either been in the squad or been available to play. Yes, I know we've got Rushian and Dolby. Big Henry might come in and play for us, or he'll certainly be in the squad. So we've got 3 good options there. Obviously myself and Barney who can bowl, but if we can try and get that overseas player who can come in for the next 2 or 3 games, then it certainly just helps you out and it just relieves a bit of the workloads on the big guys.
Australia have won by 43 runs in the second Ashes test. That's done and dusted down at Lords. Tongue the player last out, bowled by Mitchell Stark with a new ball. So it's 2-0 to Australia. On they go to Headingley for Thursday. 22 for 1 here, midway through the 4th over. Good tidy start from Maxwell. No one yet to go after him. Lees is on 4. And he's on strike. Cut away, just for 1. 23 for 1. Yeah, I suppose it's quite hard at this stage. I think Derby just picked someone up, didn't they? I think it's just finding internationals of the quality that you want who are knocking around for overseas availability, especially with 100 coming up and stuff as well. That's one's high in the air. I think it's going to go all the way. Is it to the ropes for 4? No, just bounces short, and actually it's well fielded in the end with the combination of down below to our left-hand side. OHD, I think, was in there. And who
Chris Benjamin, is that
Benjamin as well, yeah. 25 for 1. Jones is on 18. Lees is on 5. He had a real swish at that from Maxwell. Last ball of the 4th over. That's really nice, that time from Jones. It's well timed. It's going to be 4 runs. Certainly didn't cross the boundary for 6. The umpire just asking the question, definitely only a 4. And at the end of the 4th over, they move on to 29 for 1. So it looks like we've had the opening spell from Dominic Drakes, and we're going to see spin from this pavilion end as well. And no surprise probably that it's going to be Dan Mousley to come into the attack. He's having a terrific season with ball as well, 18 wickets to his name so far. 29 for 1 then after 4 overs. He's not worried about bowling in the power play, that's for sure. Didn't quite deliver with the bat tonight, so let's see what he's got to offer with the ball. 142 the target, so another 113 more required for victory here for Durham. And Jones very much the aggressor of these two. He's on 22, but he's at the non-striker's end. So it's going to be Alex Lees to face up to start with, and he's done it with his first ball, as usual. Dan Mousley, quick, on target, rattles the leg stump, and Lees is gone for 5, 29 for 2.
That is absolutely rapid, isn't it? I'm not sure we can call Dan a spinner anymore, because that's quick, isn't it? That's right on the money. I think people are going to have to start trying to work him out and come up with a game plan. He's not an ordinary off spinner. He's been absolutely fantastic for the Bears this year, and look at him, nothing fazes him. He's just almost like it's natural for him to come on and get a wicket in his first over.
Yeah, it certainly was. He's absolutely rattled that down, and Lees into the leg stump. He takes a couple of looks as if to say, what just happened? Well, the mouse has got you. 29 for 2, 19th wicket of the campaign for him. And it brings Ollie Robinson to the crease, who, as we mentioned earlier, Aaron, is having a cracking season.
He really is, yeah. Durham's leading run scorer in the 2023 T20 Blast, 370 runs, averaging 52.85, and obviously for those of a Bears persuasion, you'll know him from that 54 from 50 that he scored against the Birmingham Bears up at the Riverside about a week and a half ago. So yeah, big wicket here for the Bears, and who better to try and get it than the man in form, Mr. Dan Mousley, who, as you said, Adam, having a very good time of it.
He is, and he's in again, and he's driven down the ground. I don't think Drakes is going to get to that. That's going to be 4. And Robinson is off the mark. And Mousley looks around. Can't quite work out how that happened.
No, it's a good shot. It's a great shot first ball, isn't it? Classical down the ground. Looked like it might have just been given a little bit more air from Dan, so it wouldn't surprise me if this one's just a fraction quicker.
33 for 2. Cut away and bounces just in front of Rob Yates. And it's forced Alex Davies to come down and have a word. Certainly those last 2 balls, he just did give it a little bit more, didn't he?
Yeah.
Just a bit more flight. Not quite as rapid as that first ball to Alex Lees. 33 for 2, 3 balls to come. Straighter, and that was quicker. Just be the one. Jacob Bethel, who's boundary riding. Sam Hain lurking in the covers. He and Yates on the offside. Maxwell is at mid-off. Drakes is down at long on. Jones is on strike. 22 from 10 so far. It's a quicker ball down the leg side. And Alex Davies did well to get a hand on that. Otherwise that could have been 4 wides, but it is signalled wide. Which means we'll get 2 more balls in this over. 35 for 2. Sun's out again. Edgbaston looking pristine in the breeze as well. 1 more to the total. 36 for 2. Remember, the Bears notched up 46 in the power play. 7 more balls to come in Durham's effort in response. 106 more required to win. And again, Robinson will just take the single. Well run, end of the over. 37 for 2 then, 5 overs gone. The question is, will we see Maxwell continue at the other end? No, we're going to see Henry Brooks coming into the attack. Just over, what is it, bang on 7 required per over actually. 105 from 15 overs, and the key to this is going to be taking wickets, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to bull Durham out here to get over the line. They've got some dangerous players. These two, obviously, 2 really good campaigns. Ashton Turner will probably come in next at number 5, but then you look down at obviously Ben Raines. We spoke about his 100 in the first innings, but they'll be confident. They'll try and, if you can get through these 2 and Turner with sort of 50-60 runs left and required, then I think the Bears will fancy the chances. But one more wicket in this over will make it a really interesting next 3 or 4 overs.
Yeah, Bryden Cast as well, who's been playing as a batsman for them at the moment. That's cut away to the boundary for 4. Just a bit short from Brooks, and Robinson gave himself the room. Lovely shot. Sign of a man in form. He timed that really well. He moves on to 10. Jones on 23, 41 for 2. 5 balls remaining in the power play. Good foundation here for Durham. How does Henry Brooks respond? He got him! Robinson plays on for 10. It's 41 for 3. And that's how Henry Brooks responds. The only way he knows how. And Robinson's on his way. It's 41 for 3.
Probably wasn't the best ball, was it, from Brooks? A little bit of a drag down, but slow nature of the wicket, a little bit of a drag on from Ollie Robinson there. 3 wickets in the power play, absolute gold dust. Obviously brings their main man in, but Robinson was looking good there, wasn't he? I think 10 or 12 or whatever he got, but good to get him out. Good for Henry's confidence. Obviously he'll take it from his batting going on.
New batsman is Ashton Turner, another who's had a pretty decent season with the bat.
He really has. 278 runs, averaging 55.6, striking at 157. And when you look at this guy's career, 173 matches, 2,746 career runs, a 141.76 strike rate. Ashton Turner really is the danger man, I think, for Durham here. And again, in terms of Henry's game plan, we've seen already, as bowled a tad bit short in terms of his line length. I do think he needs to go a little bit fuller to Turner, a very, very strong player on the back foots, and of course the ball shot.
Let's see what he's got. Brooks is back at his mark. I mean, if you've spotted that, I'm sure it's been picked up in the matchups as well. Brooks to bowl to Turner then. And so windy. I think we just lost a bail. That doesn't happen too often now. They're a bit heavier nowadays, aren't they?
Well, whenever I get someone out, they always used to stay on. So yeah, must be heavy.
41 for 3 is the score. Here he comes, Henry Brooks again. We've had a 4 and a wicket so far. He's gone right through him. Ashton Turner completely beaten all ends up by Henry Brooks. It's a lovely delivery, but somehow missed the stumps, missed the bat, and there's no run. Went away and bowled in the championship. Didn't he bowl very well for Derby, didn't he?
Brooksy bowled really well. Yeah, got 6 from the first innings, I think. Yeah, from all accounts, speaking to Ajmal Shazad, Derby's bowling coach. Obviously, when they played the T20, really impressed with the character and the way he ran in and bowled all day. So it's good for him. When young lads get this exposure to go on loan, it's all about the impression that you make, and it's almost like an overseas, isn't it? You're sort of seen as the bloke first, and then your performance is second. So to fit into their dressing room and bowl the way he did, credit to him, and he's obviously brought that confidence back and done well in the T20s for us.
So Red Bulls, what, a week on Monday?
Yeah, next Monday, yeah, Kent away, which will be quite a nice game actually.
Cut away, yeah, they just had a good victory against Northants, didn't they? Daniel Bell-Drummond with 300 odd.
Yeah, I'm hoping he's got all his runs in that game.
Hamstring injury at the minute, isn't he?
Has he?
Yeah.
No, you're joking.
No, seriously.
He's
not playing didn't play. He went off, I think, in the T20 game they played on Friday night against Sussex, and he's not included in the squad for the trip to Somerset.
Oh, that's.
Neither is Denley. Denley's injured as well.
You're joking.
No.
Well, handy, isn't it? I mean,
I don't make jokes. I leave those to you.
No, look, you never want to see anyone get injured, and you want to see that you want to play against their best team, of course. But a team without Denley and Bell-Drummond obviously is seriously weakened, aren't they? And obviously, I think Billings might come in and play for him. I think he ended up dropping himself after
he's dropped himself the last 2 games. Yeah. Oh, that's a cracking shot that from Jones. A bit short from Henry. He's not middled it, so they're just going to get 2. He moves on to 25, 44 for 3, and that's the end of the power play. And they finished just 2 behind the Bears, who managed 46 for 2. So the target now 98 more required of 14 overs, but that's the end of the power play. Yeah, they've had a few injuries. Mayeye is a decent little batsman.
He looks incredible, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Just
talent.
look when George, our analyst, put some highlight reels of all the batsmen from various different teams, and you watch him bat. He plays some unbelievable shots, and I think he played a couple of years ago, maybe in a pre-season friendly. I think it might be last year, and you know, for a lad he's not very old, is he? I think he's 21, 22, is that? Yeah, but fair play to him. He looked really good against Northants last week, and obviously Bell Drummond's innings was a fine watch. It must have been a tough day and a half for the Northants boys, but yeah, to have Bell Drummond and Denley out is Denley bowled 50 overs, I think, in the second innings as well. So
interesting as well, because you may play them on Thursday, obviously, in this competition.
Yeah,
as well,
exactly.
Those quirky things do tend to happen, but we'll find out in due course who Thursday night's opponents may well be. A bit weird, the captain dropping himself for a couple of games because he's out of form, isn't it?
Yeah, it is strange. What was that hint for me?
No, as a captain, it's a bold move, isn't it? Really?
Oh, it is, yeah. But I think obviously Sam's quite a proud man, and if he's not scoring the runs that he perhaps wants, and he feels that there's someone better to do his job, then he'll probably drop himself. Also, he's probably been lucky that he's got the T20 campaign to deal with as well, and he's obviously captain in all forms there, so it can be quite a busy schedule for him.
A couple of wides here from Mousley. He's arguing the second one. I mean, I'm not sure there's a point arguing, but I tend to agree with him. It wasn't outside the blue line for me, but 46 for 3. Back on track after those 2 wides, and that's a better ball, and they're going to scamper through for a single. Certainly a single that Turner wanted. Jones a little more reluctant to take it, but he has. 47 for 3. On for 11 now for Dan.
This could be an interesting passage, couldn't it? I think Jalen Todd will come on next over. He's just limbering up at deep cover there, so I think he'll bowl the next over towards the long edge against 2 right-handers. Turner, good player of spin, so is Jones, so it could be quite an interesting matchup.
One more to the total, into the leg side. Jones moves on to 26, 48 for 3. It's good to see. I mean, I noticed Jake put out a tweet before Elon decided to break Twitter for everyone, saying he felt he owed the team his performance on Friday night, not just with the ball but the runs as well. Chance for a run out here. Oh no, not the best bit of fielding. He said he felt he owed the team, and he did struggle at the start. Obviously found himself out the team, but just seems to have got that rhythm back now.
Yeah, I don't think. Look, I think he's been our leading wicket taker for the last couple of years. So catch it.
Out. He's gone. Jones has gone for 26, 49 for 4. Well, I'm not sure what he was thinking there, because he's literally smacked it down the fielder's throat. Understandable if maybe off the pace bowlers you try and do something similar, but off of Dan, he's just turned it round the corner, and he's got his second wicket. No surprise there. 49 for 4.
I think it's also understandable if Alex Davis was fielding there, but to hit it to the bloke who's the biggest man in the circuit is probably not the wisest move there. 4 down after 7 overs. It's been a good start, and it's going to be an intriguing finish, this one.
Bryden Cass is the new batsman for Durham, and Dan Mousley strikes again. 2 for 13 with 1 ball remaining in his second over. He's up to 20 wickets for the campaign now, which is impressive. I think we're looking at the man who's going to end up our leading wicket taker at the end of the campaign, aren't we?
I think we are, Adam, and what's even more staggering is before this season he had 2 wickets in T20 cricket, career best figures of 1 for 9 on his debut against Gloucestershire, and now he's accelerated 22 career wickets. 20 wickets this season for Dan Mousley. Take a bow, Dan. Absolutely superb.
But you'll have seen this firsthand, because talking to him, he tells me that in the winter he spent a lot of time working on his bowling. Oh, that's a beauty as well to cast. On the philosophy, that's the end of the over, by the way, 49 for 4, because he felt he needed to make himself more valuable for his place in the team by being able to do both very well.
Yeah, I think he had a really good campaign last year with the bat, didn't he? And that was his introductory season. But I think the way he bowls his spin as well, I think there was almost like a niche market there, and not many people around the world do that. So that was the thing about him going away, playing a little bit of franchise cricket, talking to people who have seen various different types of spin and actually creating something that not many people have seen. And you know, like Aaron said there, 20 wickets in a singular campaign is absolutely fantastic, and he's certainly made himself now, you know, providing he stays fit and he wants to keep playing for the Bears, which I'm sure he will do for years to come. He could end up doing a lot of good things for this club.
Yeah, and certainly I think there was a lot of talk by some of the social media channels of the Blast, basically saying, can you find me a better informed all-rounder in this competition this year? And well, I think the answer's no. But
no, but it'd be interesting to see how he goes in the 100 as well. Hopefully he gets a lot of games for the Phoenix, and then, oh look, I'm sure he won't tell you, but he'll be eyeing up those further honours, which will be, I honestly can't see out of his reach. Well, I don't know what the expression is there, but he can certainly play international cricket in the next sort of year, 18 months.
Yep, 50's up, 7.1 overs, 50 for 4. Cass on strike, he's on 0, Turner on 4. I mean, also as well, for what he's delivering, those franchises will be sniffing around him a little bit more, won't they, as well?
Oh yeah, he could be a rich boy by the end of the winter, or by the end of next summer anyway.
Certainly, I think he'd feel at home on some of those Australian wickets, that's for sure, if the big bash came calling. It's nicely cut away. And funnily enough, I may have been speaking to Ian Bell the other day, who I believe he's doing a bit of coaching in the bash again. So, I mean, that's the sort of way you get in, isn't it, in those instances. If you're someone like Dan who's a young player and you're performing, all it takes is someone to say, look, let's go after him.
I think obviously Belly is doing a lot of coaching with various different, you know, franchises, and obviously he's at Derby at the minute, but I think the main man you're probably looking at is the lad at long off even, in Glenn Maxwell, captain of the Stars. Plays religiously in the IPL, and you know his word probably goes a long way in the cricketing world, so to do it in front of him is probably, you know, fair play to him.
He's almost gone onto the stumps there, having driven it, but Turner hit Cass and wasn't far away potentially from running Cass out, I would have thought, but 52 for 4. Tidy start from Jake Lintott, just 3 off the first 4 balls. He won't like the idea of not being the leading wicket taker through this campaign, will he? We've got Haney being dethroned by young Yates. We've got Lintott being dethroned by young Mousley here. No run, decent ball as well. Cass, I think, not quite sure what he's doing yet with Jake Lintott. 90 to win required, just over 12 overs remaining. Down the ground, he knows what to do that time, and he's drilled it straight and all the way for 4. Must have pitched just before the ropes. 56 for 4 then at the end of the 8th over. Turner on 2, Cass is on 5, and 7 off that over from Jake Lintott. Really nice shot from Cass, and it did well. Given us a 4, looking on the replay, it looked to me as though that may have cleared the road, but it was fairly flat batted. I think there is a conversation between the umpires and whether there's going to be a correction or not. I know they can't find the ball, that's the other problem. God knows where that's disappeared to, but we've got 1, 2, we have to get a third bear looking for it, and we've got a steward as well. There it is. I mean, anyway, I think the white ball wouldn't show up.
I don't know where Dan Moses is looking, but he's not even looking in the same postcode as where Henry's just gone and found that ball from. I'm going to say there's not too many brain cells looking there, is there? Brooksy, Dan, and I think Benji was running over there.
Listen,
so.
I'm not right. Will Rhodes just said that. Nobody else, not me, not Aaron. That was all Will's work.
I'm happy to take this. I'm happy to take that one. Yeah. I'll cop it in the changing rooms after. That's absolutely fine.
The words of the skipper. Dan's coming on to bowl as well, so he's going to have had a fairly long trot here. 2 for 13 from his 2 overs so far. How fast Briggsy away from being fit, do you know?
I think he had a scan. I think he's probably about 4 to 5 weeks, unfortunately. I think it's quite a bad one, so I think he'll certainly miss the quarter-final and probably finals day if we get there. And I think he'll miss the next couple of championship games as well. So, you know, I think he's hoping to get himself right for the 100, and I don't know where he's playing. I think he's back at the Oval Invincibles again, so hopefully he can get back fit for them.
Oh, they sneaked a single there because I think Dan was busy rubbing his hand as opposed to picking the ball up. I refer you to your previous comment.
I think he's done something quite bad. I think he's.
Isn't it a bad one? Oh, he's wandering straight off. Oh no.
He might have dislocated.
Oh no.
Looks like he might have dislocated that.
That's his bowling hand as well. Are they just going to get the physio out? Is he wandering straight off, or is the physio coming out to have a look? No. And he's looking in some discomfort. Physio is out, so maybe they can...
Oh, I'm not sure I can look at this.
Well, yeah, no close-ups, 58 for 4. While this is going on, Aaron, what's happening elsewhere around the northern group?
Well, very, very interesting at Trent Bridge. Leicestershire currently 89 for 2, chasing 169 against Nottinghamshire, so that could have playoff implications. Derbyshire 55 for 2 in the 6th over, chasing 223 against Worcestershire at the Encora ground. Lancashire 58 for 2, chasing 139 up at Old Trafford. And the interesting one for the Bears is the game at the Oval. Surrey scored 195 for 6. In response, after 6 overs, Essex are 77 for 1, requiring 119 from the final 83 balls. So we'll keep a close eye on that, but yeah, very interesting happenings going on.
So if Kent not playing till later, if Essex win that, they'll leap above Kent into 4th place.
They will indeed, yes, but the big thing is, of course, net run rate. Kent's net run rate is better. If they are to beat Somerset, Kent would go through. So again, we'll keep up to date with that, Adam, but yeah, they've actually just scored another 2 runs off of that next delivery. 117 now needed for the Eagles, but yeah, that was not looking good for Dan, was it? Just to revert back to the action here at Edgbaston, not good signs.
No, he's left the field of play. I mean, you know about these things better, and I'm guessing you've messaged down to the dressing room, see what's going on. We'll try and find out what's occurring. But Henry Brooks is going to come on and finish the over off. I mean, we don't need another injury, do we? Not to Dan either.
No, we don't. No, not before. Not before Thursday. Hopefully, it's not broken. If it's broken, then he could be out for a little while. So. It's not just disappointing for him, it's disappointing for everyone associated to the club, really, isn't it? He's obviously a promising star, and I think last year he had 3 broken fingers, didn't he, over the last couple of years, so it's not ideal for everyone involved.
Henry Brooks is in. It's going to be just 1 off the second ball of over 9. 59 for 4. So Dan has already taken a couple of wickets, of course, in the thick of the action as ever. Was absolutely hammered back. Got his hand to it, but I guess from the fact that he was a bit slow to react when they ran through for the single, that the pain must have been horrendous. So Henry Brooks to continue, 59 for 4. Oh, that's got to be out. Got to be out, and it is. No doubt about it. Turner's gone. LBW to Henry Brooks. And it's another one. 59 for 5 now, Durham. They may only be chasing 142 to win, but Turner's gone for 6. LBW to Brooks, and the Bears are making those much-needed inroads.
It's a big wicket there, big wicket, Turner. I'll look to get that man out halfway before the 10th over. That's you can't miss them, can you? Henry's done well there. Obviously, probably not expecting to bowl this over. He's done well after cupping a little bit of tap in his first, but 2 for 8 off 1.2 overs. He's come back beautifully.
Liam Travaskis is the new batsman. Makes his way out to the middle. 59 for 5. The other batter at this moment in time is Cass. Midway through over number 9. It's almost identical in the Northamptonshire game, isn't it? 83 required to win off 11.3 overs. And again, as a group, just to secure that 11th victory of the campaign would be fantastic. Best 14 game campaign, it would be.
Oh, it'd be huge. Yeah, 11 from 14 is absolutely massive, isn't it?
11 from 16 was 2010. Which
yeah,
is,
just shows a good sign of intent if you can win 11 from 14. That's just such a massive confidence booster.
59 for 5 the score then. Henry Brooks just fiddling around with the field. I think it's Jacob Bethel up inside the circle, which Davies is fine with. Doesn't feel he needs him at long on at this moment in time. Wants him inside the circle. Travaskis, the left-hander, on strike then, and he's beaten outside the off stump. Not much in the way of foot movement there from Travaskis. What's his record like with the bat, Aaron?
It's quite interesting, to be honest. Straight over 128, career best score of 31 outs. The average isn't great, 14.92, but knowing Liam, he does like to give it a big whack, so expect him to try and hit 4s and 6s here.
2 to come, 59 for 5. Brooks is in, no run. Travaskis just playing it down gently. And I think similar to where the Bears got to, I mean, Durham, knowing what they're chasing, it's almost kind of like, all right, 59 for 5. Let's stop trying to hit the cover off the ball and just take a minute.
Yeah, it's a tricky one now, isn't it? You know, with this rate going up and you've got sort of number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 coming in. It's going to be a tricky chase against these bowlers. Obviously, Jake's got 3 overs left or 2 overs left, so Maxwell's got a couple, so it's, you know, it's only going to get harder for these boys.
Good over from Henry. Come on to bowl the 5 balls and finished off really nicely. 59 for 5. As soon as we find out what's happening with Dan and his finger, we will let you know, of course. 9 overs gone here. So it's going to be Lintott who's going to come back into the attack. And obviously the helmet coming out for Alex Davis as well. Who's that on 12th man duty?
That's Ed Barnard at the minute.
Is it cold down there? Look at all trussed up as though it's the middle of winter.
Looks like it's a bit cold, yeah. I think I might have to, depending on how Brooksy goes out in the field, I might have to get myself down there. I did say, if Robbo did ask me if there's someone gets injured, then I might have to go down, so it might be... I
might be on 12th man duties.
Could be, yeah, within an over, so could be a premature...
Shame we can't mic you up and send you down.
That'd be nice, but that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Get some team talk.
Absolutely.
I'm surprised they don't do that anymore.
We did it once with Laurie Evans here for a season.
Oh, really?
I mean, oh yeah, look, listen, if anyone wanted to do it,
yeah.
I remember making the suggestion. I said, look, any chance we could mic a player up? Laurie, I'm in. And off we went. That was it.
Well, I'm surprised, sort of, even for TV games in the T20 Blast, they don't do it either.
They still do it down in Australia and stuff, don't they? So.
Yeah, they do it in that sort of stuff. And obviously they've done it in the 100 as well. I think it just provides such a good insight to what's going on at ground level.
Yeah.
Obviously we can see the game from up here, but you know, ground level, it gives you such a different perspective.
Lintott, oh, he almost got his wicket there. Just chipped into the air, and Henry Brooks was the closest to it. 61 for 5. Cars is on 7. Travaskis on 1. And Lintott not far away from taking a wicket in this instance. 142 the target, remember. 61 for 5. 1 more to the total. And it certainly looks like they've taken the approach that, you know, the run rate's not horrendous. It's ticking upwards of 7.5, but when you could just pop the ball around for a runner ball, have you got to go?
I don't know. I'm trying to find out.
Okay.
At the end of this over, I might have to run down and get my kit on, and I'm sure Aaron can see me charging out with a drink or a wicket.
Ooh, Lintott almost. Travaskis going for the big sweep. Deceived by Lintott. Just 3 off the over so far. Squeeze being applied here by the Bears. We've run through the first half of this Durham batting lineup. Now he wants to slip in. And Benjamin's gone in. Goes for the big hit again. No contact.
Just starting to spin here, isn't it? Just starting to spin. This is Jay Lintott. It's niche, this sort of wicket, isn't it?
Can I just say,
yeah.
Don't tell them, don't use this wicket on Thursday. It's spinning too much.
Wow. Ugh. I might have to roll out some off-spin bridge. You've seen me, haven't you?
I have seen you in the nets, yeah. 62 for 5. You're going to run, which is fair enough. He's disappearing. Will Rhodes, who may have to don some kit. I don't think they let you field in shorts nowadays. 63 for 5 then at the midway point. 10 overs gone. We'll have the fan of the match at some point soon, as Will is on his way downstairs. Henry Brooks is going to continue. 1.5 overs, 2 for 8 so far. 63 for 5 as things stand. Really good from Brooks. He's obviously got really decent figures. His best 5 for 25 in the tournament. 63 for 5 then. Cars is on 8. Travaskis on 2. Brooks is in. Short, up in the air.
Interesting.
Is it going to get caught? It's going to land too short, isn't it? Yes, it is. Charging in from the ropes that time was Hannon Dolby, but couldn't quite get there.
No, unfortunately not, even though Ollie, as we know, big fella. came charging in, unfortunately just fell short of Oliver Hannon-Dolby, but yeah, an interesting shot there, to be honest. We mentioned about Durham just trying to, you know, nudge and nurdle singles, keep that, you know, run rate ticking. Yeah, they are going for these expansive shots. That was an interesting strategy there, wasn't it, from Travaskis?
Very much so. He's on 4, Cast is on 8, 65 for 5, 77 more required, 9.5 overs remaining here, so plenty of time. 60 balls to be precise, or 59 balls should I say, as that one's turned around the corner just for a single. And it's one more to the total, 66 for 5. Cast moves on to 8. A decent crowd in for a Sunday afternoon of a, as we say, a dead rubber. However, 66 for 5, plenty to play for from the Bears' perspective to try and get themselves to 11 wins for the campaign and just keep that confidence going ahead of Thursday night. Slower ball, he's got him! Catch from Yates on the ropes. That's clever from Henry Brooks. It's a wonderful slower ball. He's got his 3rd wicket, 66 for 6. Cast has gone for 8. Well held by Rob Yates. And Brooks now has 3 for 11.
And he's deserved them as well, hasn't he? Let's be completely honest, Adam. He's changed up his pace, he's changed up his lines and lengths. He's been brilliant so far, and Henry struggled so far this tournament, hasn't he? After a very strong start, 4 for 32 in that first game against Yorkshire at Blastoff. He has tapered off. The economy rate has exceeded 10 runs per over the course of the tournament, but I'll tell you what, today Henry has bowled very well indeed, well worthy of those 3 wickets, and for the Bears, you have to say, 66 for 6. The home side are on top.
Well, and we talk about momentum. I know we keep saying it's a dead rubber, but I mean, this would be 8 wins in a row. And we talk about taking momentum into competition finals. For the quarter-final to be heading there, having managed 8 straight victories.
It's massive, and when you also think about it, it'd be 6 home wins as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
5. It'd be incredible for the Bears, a side which historically haven't been as strong at Edgbaston. So even though this is a quote-unquote dead rubber, it's a great opportunity, isn't it? We haven't got runs on the board. There's a chance for the bowlers to come into the game, get their economy rates down, get some wickets under the belt. I think this is a fantastic opportunity, to be honest. And talking to guys taking their opportunity, in comes Jonathan Bushnell, 21-year-old for Durham.
66 for 6. Bushnell on strike, a new batter, along with Travaskis, and again, decent from Henry Brooks. 2 balls to come in the over. 3 for 11 so far for Henry. Well, we talked about spin being the key, but Henry Brooks proving otherwise.
Well, he has done, Adam, and as we said, it's all come from change of pace, hasn't it? He's also been very disciplined with his line and length. It's something which has evaded Henry at times in this year's competition, but yeah, I'll tell you what, in Dan Mosley's absence, he stood right up to the plate there yet again, dragging the length slightly back, making Bushnell second guess the shot that he's going to actually undertake. So far, very, very impressed with Henry, and again, if you are of a Bears persuasion, hoping they can keep this up heading into Thursday's quarter-final.
Just 3 off the over so far. 1 more ball to come from Henry Brooks. 66 for 6 as things stand. Bushnell is on strike. Again, Brooks is back at his mark. Looking to add to that 3-wicket tally again. Slower ball. They're going to try and sprint the quick run, and they do it very well. And I think it's safe to say Glenn Maxwell's football skills aren't up to scratch. Probably used to more drop kicking it is an Aussie rules fan, I suspect. 67 for 6 then. 11 overs gone. As things stand, Travaskis on 5. Bushnell on 1. If you're wondering where Will Rhodes has disappeared to, he's gone down to potentially take on a bit of 12th man duties. Barnard at the moment carrying out those tasks for the Bears, and we're going to see Jake Lintott to continue from the far end. 2 overs so far for 11 runs, 75 off 54 balls so far required if they're going to get through. 4 wickets in hand, of course. 67 for 6. And it's Lintott again, reverse swept.
That's a lovely shot.
Yeah, very nicely that time by Bushnell to the ropes before.
Yeah, typical shot from Johnny Bushnell. Does also have keeping under his utility belt in the game of cricket, and loves a sweep shot. That's a really clever option as well, given the fact where the fielders are placed. He's picked the gap very nicely, he's timed it superbly. And yeah, Jonathan Bushnell off the mark there, races to 5 from 4, and that'll fill the young man with quite a bit of confidence.
71 for 6. One more to the total as Bushnell grabs another single. 72 for 6 as things stand. Still no word on Dan Mousley and that finger injury as he managed to block the shot. I think it was Cars who drove with real power.
It was ferocious, wasn't it?
Yeah, 72 for 6, and it will take a lot to force him off, as it did on this occasion, that's for sure. 72 for 6, swept and missed, and again Lintott inches away, and he's got his head in his hands, and it's no surprise he's been unlucky. That's 2 or 3 times he's bamboozled the batsman, but got very little for it apart from a dot in the book. 72 for 6, 3 to come in this, the 12th over. Swept this time for 1, firmly to Bethel. Another to the total, 73. So far 17 off the 16 deliveries from Lintott, 6 off the over. 50 balls, 69 more required to win. We'll get a quick roundup of what's going on elsewhere in the North Group in that key game down south as to potentially working out the Bears' opponents on Thursday night from Aaron in a moment or two. Reminder, England have lost the Test match despite the heroics of Ben Stokes scoring over 150 again for England at Lord's. Real entertainment. Controversial as well, as I'm sure you'll read about on your social media if you can get on it, and your papers tomorrow. 74 for 6 here at Edgbaston. This could be a tight finish. If they can take wickets, and there's another taken by Maxwell. Lintott gets his man at last. Travaskis has gone for 6, and it's 74 for 7, and Maxwell joins him with the dancing. He's loving it here at Edgbaston, and Lintott's off the mark with a wickets column today. 8 overs remaining and ticking over very nicely. 74 for 7.
And again, they've fallen for the trap. I'm not entirely sure what Durham's game plan is here. They just seem to be trying to hit absolutely everything out of the ground. And for Jake Lintott, it's fallen straight into his trap. And for Jake, that's a massive wicket. He is now the 6th leading wicket taker for the Birmingham Bears. He surpassed Ricky Clark's total of 55, so that was Jake's 56th wicket. His 9th of the campaign. And we talk about the Bears peaking at the right time. How about Lintott as well? 3 for 27 on Friday. He's taken a wicket here. He's bowled disciplined line and lengths, and all of a sudden we're getting to the danger end of the T20 blast, and the Bears' premium leg spinner is back in business.
I would suggest he also wants a wild card into the 100 as well, but that's just my thought process too. Good time to turn it on.
Certainly is.
With those decisions coming on Tuesday.
And in terms of those updates as well, Adam, a massive one from the game at the Oval. Michael Pepper and Dan Lawrence are absolutely motoring. Essex are 132 for 1 in the 11th over.
So it looks like Essex are going to overtake Kent in the table. So as things stand, it would be Essex that come here on Thursday night. And the other games in the north?
Yeah, the other games in the north, Lancashire seem to be motoring 90 for 3 by the end of the 12th over. They need 49 from the final 8 overs. In the game between Worcestershire and Derbyshire at the Incora ground, Derbyshire are 106 for 3. Needing 117 from the final 55 deliveries. And in the final game between Nottinghamshire and Leicestershire, the Foxes need 59 from the final 38 balls with 4 wickets still to spare.
74 for 7 here. Brooks back in for his final over. Quite an interesting one actually, because he's obviously going to end up bowling 3.5. Does that mean he can bowl that odd ball somewhere else?
I suppose in theory, I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest, but again, Henry's bowled very nicely today. I know I keep on saying that, but it's great to see, isn't it? Young, homegrown talent. Initially a product of Alton, now plays his cricket for Nolan Dorridge. So, again, for the Bears fans, just nice, isn't it, to see a local grown hero taking wickets.
67 more required to win. 75, 76 for 7 now. Bushnell on strike, Rain on 1, of course. Now, we've talked previously about what Rain can do with the bat during his time at Leicestershire. So we won't count any chickens here. 76 for 7, so 66 more required. 7.3 overs remaining, so 45 deliveries. Brooks from this pavilion end. 3 balls to come from him. Going to snatch another single. Good over so far, just 3 off the over to date from Henry Brooks. Just 3 wickets remaining now, of course, as well. As we tick round towards the end of this, the 13th over. It's all quite tense. I mean, if they could win another game here, having set a similar target to what they did against Northampton, coming out on top, just shows that those big scores over 200, yes, they're great, yes, they do a fantastic job, but these Bears know how to defend a tight one as well. Oh, he's gone through him again. He's appealed. Maybe it took a flick off the pad.
Not sure about that one, to be completely honest. Just looking at the line of that, if there was the impact, it would have been outside. But just to talk about Ben Rain very briefly, Adam. I mentioned him being the Bears bogeyman. Career best score of 113 came against the Bears. Career best figures of 4 for 30 came against the Bears. He scored 229 runs at 38.17. It's the most number of runs he scored against any opponents in T20 cricket.
Well, he's the danger man. He's on strike, and he's staying on strike, because that's a dot ball to end the over from Henry Brooks. Just 3 from it. 3.5 overs, 3 for 15 for Henry Brooks. A terrific performance from him. 77 for 7. 7 overs remaining. 65 is the target for Durham. So it's not too challenging a target to bring the Bears and potentially send them home happy. Talking of happy, there's Bobby. He's 8, and he is our Selco fan of the match today, with full-on Bears headband and shirt as well. What more could you want? And he seems to have taken lessons from the Royals in how to wave, because Bobby's very good at doing it. Look at that. Well done to Bobby. Fantastic seeing the youngsters here. Rob Yates is coming into the attack. Well, we did joke earlier that we may see Rob Yates today, in the absence of Dan Mousey, of course. Yates in to bowl, and he does. He had a little turn over his arm in the championship game. His record with the ball in T20 cricket, 1 for 13 is his very best, isn't it?
It is, but in terms of the overall average is 66. The economy rate actually isn't that bad for Rob, 8.25, and as you mentioned, Adam, he does turn the arm over in first-class cricket. It's not exactly as though we're turning to a real out-and-out part-timer. So, again, it's an interesting matchup here, in particular to the left hands of Ben Rain. He is very, very strong in hitting towards the leg side, so I wonder if that is what Rob is just setting the trap with the field, with guys on the boundary fence. Yeah, they've got 3, the Bears, so I imagine this one could be quite straight and angled in towards the stumps.
Well, he swept it, and it's picked up by Henry Brooks, who's at the short, fine leg, and the throw was powerful, and it's a good job that Sam Hain was backing up. Absolutely launched that Henry Brooks, but they set the trap. He tried to sweep it though to try and get it finer, and in the end just 1 to the total. So 2 off the over so far, 79 for 7. Bushnell on strike, the right-hander. Just pulls Yates away towards square leg, where Drakes is fielding. Be 1 more to the total. 80 for 7.
Solid start here, isn't it, from Rob?
It is. More conservative approach from these Durham batsmen, of course, with only 3 wickets remaining and the total not being huge. They have the opportunity to nurdle their way towards the total before having to take risk. But as I say that, they've launched one away. Didn't get all of it, and it's going to be well stopped, and it's superb fielding. Excellent stuff on the boundary ropes. Oh, they've got to run out of it as well. Well, that's magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. What a bit of fielding in the deep. I think it was Ethan Brooks, maybe, who was on fielding duty that time. A great stop. The throw was delivered quickly, and the rewards came. It's brilliant. And the mix-up in the middle helped as well. What a bit of fielding. And it brings about a wicket. Yet another one. Terrific stuff.
Well, that's just sensational, isn't it, Adam? I mean, we've even got guys who aren't in the starting 11 making plays. Ethan Brooks, a superb fielder. Any member of this Bears team will tell you that. We've seen it in the One-Day Cup. He's pulled off some outrageous catches in 50-over cricket, and that's not only is it the initial fielding, that's good in itself, but the presence of mind to throw it, given the confusion in the middle. Take a bow, Ethan Brooks. That's a fantastic piece of fielding from that man right there.
Well, the next batsman to enter the fray, George Drissel. Yates just gone for 3 runs off that over so far. Or 5, should I say. 82 for 8, because they obviously ran 2, but it was the third one that caused them the problem. Not very often you get to run for a third, but Drissel's the man that comes in to join Bushnell, who's on 11. 82 for 8 then. 60 more required to win. 37 balls remaining, but the key part of this, only 2 wickets left. Yates is in again. Gently turned away by Bushnell, who will keep the strike as he takes the single. A wicket, 6 runs from the over from Rob Yates. Just what would have been asked of him by Alex Davis, that's for sure. It's 83 for 8 as things stand. Dominic Drakes is back into the attack for his 3rd over. The replacement for Hassan Ali, of course, for this Birmingham Bears side. 83 for 8 then. Chance now for Drakes to really stamp his authority. Took a wicket in his 1st over. And he's back into the attack from this pavilion end. Sounded a bit clunky as it was played away by Bushnell, but 1 more to the total, 84 for 8. Drakes went for 12 off his first 2 overs, or 11 should I say. Lining up in a Bear shirt, like so many with those huge gold chains. How they can bowl with them clanking around while they're running in, I'll never really know, but 84 for 8 as things stand.
Well, an interesting fact here, Adam, this is the first ball that George Drissel has faced against the Bears. He made his T20 debut here at Edgbaston, didn't bat, didn't bowl, and he's out first ball.
First ball. He is, the catch is taken again, and it's well taken that time, comfortably, and he's gone. Drakes has got his 2nd, it's 9 down, it's 84 for 9 as things stand. And the celebrations are out, and that's no great surprise. Well, it was stand and deliver, wasn't it, from Drissel? Toe end of the bat. And the catch is taken by Ethan Brooks again. Well, he's having an impact as the substitute fielder, that's for sure. 84 for 9, 58 required then. And the last man comes to the crease. Nathan Souter. And look, just in time, as victory is about to happen, Will Rhodes reappears.
I'm back.
You are back.
2 overs on the bench.
Is that what you had to do?
Yeah, I was fully kitted up, just in case. And then when we got the 8th wicket, I thought, no, I need to be back up with the boys. And
any word on Dan's hand?
Split his webbing by the looks of it. Unsure how bad.
84 for 9 then. Drakes is in again. Short ball, no ball given by the umpire, and he's punished for that being a little too short. So 54 required, 56, no 54, it is 56 required off 34 balls. Sweet Caroline's been loaded up, which is always a good sign, isn't it?
Might be a little bit too late, I reckon. If we can finish it this ball.
Henry Brooks has bowled beautifully, and that bit of fielding as well for the run out. Oh, that's a big hit up in the air, and it's all the way for 6. Arms in the air from Henry Brooks. Well, I think we know what Nathan Souter's going to do. Is that fairly standard practice from him?
It is, to be honest, Adam. Yeah, his career best is 37. It came against Somerset in 2021, so again, you can't discount the Aussie here. Obviously, he's a number 11, he's a tail ender. He's not going to do it on a consistent basis, but again, he can certainly hit a long ball.
I was hoping that might have been you out doing that fielding rather than Ethan Brooks that led to the run out.
I imagine that would have been nice, wouldn't it? That was a great bit of fielding on the rope, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they managed to do themselves no favours with the mix-up on the third, didn't they? That's oh, it's a slip on! It's a slip that's cost him. Jake Lintott was just settling himself for the catch, lost his footing in the deep, recovered it, but at that point, the ball had just died in front of him.
He'll be getting nervous because he dropped one on Friday as well, didn't he? He dropped one off.
Dropped one here as well on the Friday night.
Yeah, I thought he'll be getting a little bit nervous on the boundary now. I think he's seen the funny side there with Maxine Devo, but I think he's coming on next over, so he might just be looking to hunt another wicket.
93 for 9. Drakes is in again, it's full, it's driven, there's no run. Backing up well there though, that time. Bushnell on strike here on 13. One ball to come in the 15th over. One more wicket required to complete a pretty darn perfect qualifying campaign. I mean, 3 defeats, but wow. This could bring victory number 11. It doesn't usually get much better than that. No run again. Maxwell just forcing him back in his crease. 5 overs to go then, 93 for 9 as things stand out. How's things down on the bench? Everyone happy?
Yeah, loving it. Very calm on the bench. Coaches are happy. A couple of fielding wickets, a couple of good catches, a run out. So seems like a happy camp down there at the minute.
That's what we like. Davis will just take the helmet again because Lintott is coming on. Grabbed his wicket previously, of course. Good catch by Glenn Maxwell. And here we are then, 5 overs to go. So the runs aren't the problem, 49 off 30. However, just 1 wicket remaining. At this point as a team, you're not complacent, but you must feel like the job's nearly done. But then, you know,
yes,
stranger things have happened.
It's a weird one in a game like this where there's not really much on it. You can get a little bit complacent, but I know the boys will want to get out with a win.
Lintott's in again.
It's always a strange one, isn't it, when a team's 9 down, because they've almost got nothing to lose and they can just keep swinging. And obviously, we've seen from Souter's 6 there that you can obviously strike a clean ball. Bushnell's, you know, a useful all-rounder as well. So we're interested to see how they play this.
I know they weren't 9 down against Northampton all those years ago when Northampton suddenly went mad, but it does happen, doesn't it? You just sometimes you don't expect players to deliver, but yet they do. So 94 for 9. Bushnell is on 13. Souter is on 8. Lintott with 1 for 19 so far. He'll be looking for another scalp. Jake Lintott. And Bushnell's probably the man who's in his targets here. 48 more required for victory. Bushnell. Almost flat batted that away, but he's done it incredibly well for 4. Chase was on, but picked his spot perfectly. 4 more for the total. They move on to 98 for 9. Lintott won't be happy about that for sure. Bushnell up to 17. Cuts that one away. He's picked a good gap, but this time Jacob Bethel will get round. Good down round for the Brooks family. A catch, helping a run out, 3 wickets and
nice.
some runs
and some runs as well. Yeah, they've got a lot to be excited about. They always get excited, don't they? But no, Ethan's a high quality fielder, and he's, you know, that's why he's obviously Barnard's, you know, an outstanding fielder in his own right. So for Ethan scoring before Barnard is
he'd feel for a stumping, but no, his back foot was planted there. Souter. There was no movement in that, but good keeping by the skipper.
Not going to die wondering here, is he? Souter is certainly having a good swing.
99 for 9. 43 required. Another good ball from Lintott. He'll be frustrated. 1 for 24. It's bowled well though. And we're going to see OHD come back into the attack from this pavilion end in search of that elusive wicket that he's after.
Be nice, wouldn't it? He can't go another year without getting a T20 wicket, can he?
Well, at this rate, I think he'll be playing on Thursday, won't he?
He might be, yeah. He might have to get it then. I mean, he did well at finals day all those years ago, didn't he? So at least he's got experience of these high pressure games.
He did. I always like watching that when it pops up on Sky. It's always a good one to watch. OHD against Flintoff. 99 for 9. 43 required then. 24 balls, so we've got to that stage where they're going to have to hit a few boundaries if they're going to try and do this. 1 wicket in hand, of course. Here is Hannon Dolby. Cracked away. They're going to run the first very quickly, and there's a misfield from Lintop, and they'll make 2 quite comfortably in the end. Hundreds up, 101 for 9 in the 17th over. 41 more required. You don't start to get nervous just yet.
Nah, not just yet. Maybe in another 10 runs and...
Yeah, stiff old breeze out there. Those flags have been flying strongly throughout this game. Cut away. Well fielded, brilliantly fielded in fact, by Sam Hain. No run. Hain's had to field the whole game because of all these injuries, I guess.
He has. He's stayed out there, hasn't he? He's done a little bit of boundary fielding. He's in the ring now, but it's a good sign, isn't it? It's a good sign if he stayed out and can get through sort of unscathed. Obviously, we don't know how Dan's going to shape up for Thursday, so we certainly don't. If Dan's no good or that it comes from that, you don't want Haney to be no good either.
OHD in again. Just lets himself follow the batsman there. Bushnell just 1 step, and in OHD did very well. And the dot ball. Just 2 off the over so far. Desperate to get that wicket. We're all desperate for him to get that wicket. 41 to win. 21 balls remaining. Back down the ground, just going to be 1. Drake thinks about firing in, but stays calm. This is like the Dougie Brown days when they would post 140 and then, you know, and they would literally strangle a team to the point where, you know, it became routine to score 140 and win games.
It's a bit old school, these games, aren't they? You know, we said that against Northamptonshire. It's a bit old school, you know, 150. You know, on a good wicket these days, you should never ever be in the game, but we've seen twice this year that, well, once, and then hopefully in this game that they would defend it.
OHD in again, swept in the air. Oh, it's going to fall short of Maxwell. Oh, and the spin has taken it away from Maxwell, and they're thinking about a third here, but they settle on 2. 104 for 9. 5 off the over. Bushnell on to 21. Soto on 10. 38 more required then. So it's basically two runs a ball from here to get home.
It's clever bowling from Ollie, that wide slow ball. Souter's on looking one way here towards that short edge, so wouldn't surprise me if he goes another one here.
It is carved up in the air. It's going to be between fielders again. Lintot's going to get there first. They're going to get 2. 7 off the over. 106 for 9. 3 overs remaining, 36 required. And what's going on elsewhere?
Well, just an update from Old Trafford. The Lancashire Lightning are officially in the 2023 T20 Blast quarter-finals. They have beaten Northamptonshire by 6 wickets on home soil. With regards to the other games as well, it is going down to the wire at Trent Bridge. Leicestershire have 3 wickets remaining. VR Mulder at the crease, needing 24 runs from the final 2 overs. And then at the Incora ground, Derbyshire, with 4 wickets remaining, needs 65 runs from the last 26 balls, chasing 223 against the Worcestershire Rapids. So the North Group at this moment in time looks like Bears, Lancashire, Worcestershire and probably the Notts Outlaws.
And in terms of potential opponents?
Well, this is the big one. Things have started to change for the worse if you're an Essex fan. The Eagles have lost 3 wickets in quick succession, 158 for 4 now, needing 196 for the victory from the final 5 overs against Surrey. But as I said, the tide's turning in that one.
Yates is into bowl again, and just 1 off the first ball, 107 for 9. You thought, you called this earlier that you might get a little roll out today, Yates?
Yeah, I actually would have given him maybe one in the power play to get one out of the way, but he's obviously come on and done a nice job here, going to run a ball, so obviously not ideal with Dan going down, but he's, you know, covering lovely for Maxwell as well.
Does he like bowling? Is he one of those batsmen who kind of goes, oh, I'll just do it because I can and it's helpful for the team, or does he love it?
No, he loves it. Yes, he's one of these. He's like Henry with his batting. Obviously, it's his sort of secondary skill, but he'll bowl every morning in a championship game. He'll bowl every warm-up in a T20 just to let me or Davo know he's there. But he's got some useful wickets in championship cricket. He's got some good players out, so he's certainly a good option. He's a good option now, but I think he's only going to get better as well.
One more for the total, 110 for 9 as things stand. 15 balls to go, 32 still required. Bears need one more wicket, of course. All to restrict the runs. Bushnell's just accumulating here. He's on 22. One more to the total takes him to 23. And Souter on 15. So he could be in for a grandstand finish here. 111 for 9. These two ticking things around quite nicely. I wonder what the approach would be as Yates is in again. Run the first really hard. This time round they are stopped from going for the second because it's well fielded on the boundary rope from Jake Lintott. One more to come in over 18, 112 for 9. So 30 required. So we're about to enter the final 2 overs. What an enthralling finale this could be. Yates. Take another single. That's 7 off the over. Not quite as many as they need. Hence the pressure. 113 for 9 then. 24 for Bushnell. 16 now for Souter. And 29 required from 2 overs. It's a big ask.
It's a big ask. They've got to go this over, and you'd probably think they need 16 or 17 from this over off Dom. So I think Ollie will bowl the last up the far end. So big ask. I mean, it's a big ask if you were sort of 5, 6, 7 down, but to be 9 down, everything's got to go right for them here.
They've added 29 for this wicket, which is not bad. Drake's to bowl his final over from this pavilion end. Can he finish it off for the Bears?
Shot.
Drilled down the ground for 4. Well, you can hear the cries from shot elsewhere. That's an absolute beauty that time from Bushnell.
It's a lovely shot down the ground, isn't it? He started the over well there. That's what you need when you need 15 and over. Like I said before, this might be the over that they're trying to target. I know it's the Overseas Pro, but with the wind, short boundary, this is the over that they probably need to target. I think you might have to maybe go a little bit of wide hole here, or slower balls going across Bushnell here.
No mug with the bat. Was his high score? Did you tell me 40 odd?
Pete Bushnell?
Yeah.
No, this is his career best now. His career best before this was 25 not out from 20 against Derbyshire. So there you go, Johnny Bushnell, career best.
Yeah, 28 from 27. Changing the field for the Bears. Drake's just waiting a moment. 11 balls to go, 25 required. Bowl short, cut away, in the air, overslip, and that's going to be 4.
Good start to the over. Good start to the over for Durham here. 2 4s. It's a little bit of pressure back on the bowler now, and when you've not bowled for a while in the game, this could be an interesting over here. Said they probably needed 16 or 17, and they've got half of them so far. So a couple of big balls coming up really. Maybe he's just making it nice and tight and keep the crowd interested, but right. I'd like to see the game ended if I'm honest.
Good to play under pressure, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Drake's is in. Not good for the nerves. 21 required. Cut away again. This time it's just going to be 1. Oh no, they thought about the second because they were misfield. Chance of a run out. No, the throw's not tight enough into Davis. 1, 2, 3 for 9. 19 required off 9 balls. Feels like we're in for a grandstand finish.
Like I said before, this is a good test. This is a good test for a little bit of pressure. It's just that, obviously you probably want to have more pressure than them 7 down, but now they've got it to 19 off 9. A couple of boundaries here brings them right back into the game, but it's a good test this going into Thursday.
Drake's is in again, wide outside the off stump, wide ball called by the umpire. Who's bowling the final over, Skip?
I think you've got to go to Dolby, haven't you? I think you go to Ollie. He's been there, done it in these situations. I think it'll be him or Maxwell. Brooks is obviously bowled out.
I was going to say, Maxwell's only bowled a couple, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Was it 2? Maybe
I think he bowled 2 up top, didn't he? But I'm not sure they're going to give it to Yates. I think you've got to back Ollie. I think you've got to back your big man who's been there, done it.
Maxwell's only bowled 1. So he's got 3 overs in there. Unless there's a problem with Glenn not bowling, I don't know if as Yates has got involved, or maybe they decided to bowl Yatesy with what happened to Dan potentially, just to give them options for the quarter-final. 1-2-5 for 9. 17 off 8 required. Bushnell on to 35. Souter on 16 and on strike. So far, 12 off the over. Not ideal here from Dominic Drakes on his Bears debut. He's got 2 for 33 so far though. Dot ball. I mean, he's literally exposing his stumps. We know what the target is, and Drakes is following him every time. Do you try and slip the fast Yorker in there, or is that too tempting?
I think you might have to. I think they might be a bit tight on time here as well, which is the last thing that they'll need. I think 1 minute till the cut off.
5:19 is the cut off. So where are we at? 5:18. Yep. Need to get through this ball very quickly. Well, they'll be penalised with another fielder, won't they? He's just waiting. And well, I think there's a conversation taking place, is there, about the cut-off time? Or they said they need to move.
I think it's now. They're going. They've almost called it.
Yeah, Henry Brooks is coming up inside the circle. So the decision's been made, which is surprising given the spinners that have been bowling. That.
Yeah, you should never really put yourself in this sort of situation.
Drake's bowls cut away. They're going to try and turn for 2. Yep. Oh no, they changed their mind. And probably a good decision in hindsight. That was a cracking throw. Absolute beauty of a throw. It's the end of the over. 1 to go then. 1:26 for 9. 16 required off the final over. Who will bowl it from the Birmingham end? And it is going to be Ollie Hannon-Dolby.
He's got a bag of tricks. He closed out a lot of games for us last year in the RL 50 over the last couple of years. Bowled really well at the death. Tried and tested. He's got good skills, good plans. So.
He's bowled 2 overs for 16 so far. Drakes has finished with 2 for 34 from his 4 overs. As we know already, Henry Brooks took 3 for 15 from his 3.5. And of course, before the injury to Dan Mousley, 2.1 overs, 2 for 15 as well. Lintop with 1 for 24. So it's only Hannon-Dolby, Maxwell and Yates who are wicketless in this innings so far. 1:26 for 9 then. 16 required off the final over, but they've got to have an extra fielder inside the circle.
Interesting decision here. I think Al Davis is coming up to the stumps as well, which is a strange call. I think it just eradicates the bouncer, doesn't it, to the long side. And strange theory, unless they want to try and keep Souter on strike and not let. But if he does beat the bat, not let Bushnell get through. But
I suppose it just tries to control the movement around the crease a little bit more, doesn't it?
A little bit, but then if there is an edge, then it could be a fine edge, and it sort of just takes that sort of stuff out of the game, really.
I would assume from this we're going to see a few slower balls as well. Would be the other thing I'd read into that. He's pulled that one into the dirt. It's a short, slower ball hooked into the leg side. It's just going to be for 1.
Slow ball bouncer there. He called it Adam straight into the wicket. I think that might be the play, either slow balls or using the wicket. It's a long hit out there. Here we go there. Jacob Bethel at cow corner and Glenn Maxwell, 2 of the quicker ones with probably 2 of the stronger arms. Obviously we saw Bethel's catch at Headingley, didn't we? How good was that? So could do with catching another one of those.
Bushnell on 35, 15 required, 5 balls remaining. Hannon-Dolby's in, pulled. Almost cloth, they didn't too much on it. Going to come back for the second, and need to be quick, and they are. It was quick enough. 2 runs, 13 required, 4 balls remaining. 1:29 for 9. 3 off the over so far. Carry on with the same tactic?
I think so, yeah. I think so. They've plinked the last 2, haven't they? It's a massive hit. It's a good 70, 75 yards out there. I'd quite like to see Dom Drakes on the fence there. I'm not liking how he's a few yards in. I think they'll go. I think Ollie will keep going slow balls.
Well, Lintop's just come a bit finer here at fine leg. Short again. He's got all of that one. It's going to be between the 2. It's going to fall short again. It's into the wind, as we said. Jacob Bethel with a throw in to Alex Davis. Oh, and he's taken an awkward one on the bounce as well, even with the gloves on. Just the one. 12 required. 3 balls remaining. We're into boundary territory, but Alex Davis here is in some discomfort. Not what you want to see.
No, not when I've just got out of my playing kit. Can't be having another sort of... I don't like it.
No, he doesn't. He's throwing both the gloves away.
Can't be going a second time, surely. Well, at least we've got Chris Benjamin. I don't really want to go out there and take the gloves. I think Benji's a good keeper, so...
And not that I'm tempting anything here or forecasting, but obviously Burjo could come back from his loan.
Yeah, Burge can come back from his loan, yeah. He's... obviously Sussex are out anyway, but...
And he's been in decent nick.
Yeah, he got peeled off 60 not out, spoke to him, and he said he's in good form, so... Oh no,
Benji needs his pads. Have you got a run, or are you okay?
I have to go again here. If Devo starts walking off, then I'll...
Can you get down there quick enough?
Oh, the pace I got up here, Bridgie, I can get down there. It's downhill. That's what you got to think, downstairs, downhill.
Is this that Barnard doesn't fancy taking all his fancy gear off? He's nice and cosy.
I can't. I'd like to see Mark Robinson don some yellow and blues. To be honest, how good did that look? Not sure how well he'd move in the field.
Well, it'd be interesting to have a look at that again. Had he removed one of his gloves in preparation potentially? Is that why, or was it literally hurled in so fast and hard?
Well, I think he's staying on it.
No, he's not. Is he? Oh no, he is.
He's staying on, yeah.
Well, they gave the sign for Chris Benjamin. I think is he maybe going to go back a little bit, or has he still got the helmet out? I wasn't sure.
No, the helmet's gone off, which is probably quite a good plan. I'll get back on the circle, I reckon.
He's struggling to get his inner glove back on. I mean, what a season he's had as captain, as wicket-keeper, as batsman. It's really been a terrific Blast campaign. It was everything that, when he was signed, we were hoping for, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think he was obviously disappointed at the end of last year that he probably didn't get the runs and the contributions that he wanted to in all forms last year, but this year he's been outstanding. He's, with the bat and the way he carries himself around, obviously to be vice-captain after 18 months shows testament to him.
Here we go, 3 balls to go, 12 required, short again, pulled into the leg side, just going to be 1. And it's Jacob Bethel who needs to learn to throw the ball in a little bit softer, which he does on this occasion, to the bare hands of Ollie Hannon-Dolby. 11 required from 2, almost there. 1-3, 1 for 9. Just needs to keep the feet behind the line, keep it within the tram lines. Not asking much here, are we? Stop him hitting a 6.
No, I think he's an experienced campaigner, isn't he? He's bowled a fantastic first 4 balls there. He's gone for 5 or 6, so big ball this one.
It is kind of match ball, really. Pulled away, not quite going to land in the palm of the hands of Henry Brooks. They'll come back for a second. Ethan Brooks does the fielding, and a nice gentle throw as well. 1-3, 3 for 9. 9 required, then 1 ball to go, and you hear the crowd. They know the significance, and funnily enough, just at that moment, the sun shines as well. And Bushnell has just looked in the air as if to say, I mean, he's done well. 40 off 33 as Bushnell, and he just looked up as if to say, I can't believe we haven't quite got there. Last ball then, Hannon-Dolby. 9 required, and it's the slower ball bouncer, and it's a perfectly good delivery as well, thanks to Will Rhodes, who's departed off to the studio, of course, where he'll join Artif in a moment or two. But 1-3, 3 for 9 then, and it's a victory for the Bears by 8 runs. As we often say, those low-scoring contests can so often be the best, and on this occasion it proved to be a bit of a cracker. Nail-biting towards the end. The worry is the injury to Dan Mousey and potentially there to Alex Davis's hand as well. That'll be 2 things that we need to look at ahead of Thursday, of course, but it's a really good victory. It's 11 wins from their 14. It's their best 14-game campaign. 22 points, top of the table. and a home quarter-final. The big question, Aaron, is who will that be against?
Well, it's looking as though it will be against Essex. So Essex need 9 runs from their final 7 balls. In terms of the other results from the North Group as well, we've mentioned that result for the Lancs Lightning. They have booked their place in the quarter-finals. The Nottinghamshire Outlaws also booking their place with a 4-run victory over Leicestershire at Trent Bridge. And then in the game between Worcestershire and Derbyshire at the Incora, what was essentially a virtual knockouts, Worcestershire have won. Derbyshire cannot chase 29 from 4 balls, so the North Group will be the Bears, the Lancashire Lightning, the Worcestershire Rapids and the Nottinghamshire Outlaws, and it's looking like at the moment Surrey will finish 3rd in the South Group, so they will travel to 2nd in the North, and Essex or Kent will be the Bears' opponents in the quarterfinal.
So Hampshire will finish 2nd to get the home tie, and that will be Worcester as things stand.
Potentially, yes. We're just looking at net run rate. That could change, but yeah, that'll be an interesting fixture. That.
Okay, so Lancashire and the Bears get the 2 home ties then from the North Group in the quarterfinals of the Blast. Reminder, that tie is on Thursday night. It is here at Edgbaston, 6:30 start. Tickets available for £10. You know where to get them at edgbaston.com. Do come along and support the boys. I mean, what a run they are on. 11, of course, wins this campaign. Without Moeen Ali, of course, they've been captained superbly by Alex Davies over that period. Terrific run as skipper as well, having won those early fixtures without Mo too. He's really done a tremendous job. 10 victories captaining this Bears side throughout this campaign. Eyes on those injuries for Dan Rousey and of course potentially for Alex Davies as well. We'll find out more about those as soon as we can, but what a campaign for the Bears. 11 wins from their 14 games, top of the group and very well deserved as well. Not always a run fest, today a real tight one, but it's an 8-run victory against Durham to give them that 11th victory of the campaign.
Well, there we go. That was got a bit touch and go towards the end, but the Bears did get over the line, and Ollie Halland-Dolby just held it together. Well bowled, OHD. And the Bears win their 11th game. I mean, it was a low total to defend, but they did it. Back alongside me, club captain Will Rhodes. That was an impressive display.
Yeah, really impressive. Obviously, it got a little bit closer than the boys would have probably have hoped for towards the end there, but very impressive to have them 80 for 9, like you say. Yeah, really good all-round performance. A bit of a different sort of brand, I guess, to what we've been playing this year, but very similar to the Northants game, and very impressive. And to get the job done was fantastic.
I mean, the spinners we thought would be key, and they were very good, to be fair. Dan Mosley got himself a couple of wickets. We'll talk about him in a second. But how impressive were the seamers, particularly Henry Brooks? I thought, that first ball with the batter chopped on, and then just keeping the pressure on, 3 for 15 from 3.5 overs. That was outstanding.
Yeah, it was. It was a slightly different role for him today, wasn't it? We've seen him bowl a couple in the power play and a couple at the end. Usually that's his role, but to come through the middle, obviously Dan going off was a bit of a shame, but for him to get those 2 wickets in the middle period and bowl really good pace throughout the middle on a slow wicket was really impressive. So that'll give him good confidence, and if he's picked on Thursday, at least he's got some wickets and runs behind him, and he'll have confidence going into the next game.
I will be honest, I got a little bit nervous when that 10th wicket partnership. I mean, they batted brilliant. Credit to Durham, brilliant 10th wicket partnership. 49, I think it was worth by the end of the game. But were you ever nervous at any point? Did you think are they going to just steal this back?
It's one of those, isn't it, where you think you're always thinking the worst, but no, the boys did well there. Closed it out fantastically well. Obviously, Drakes and OHD using their experience. Ollie bowling slow balls into wicket was fantastic there, into the wind to the long side. So no, never in doubt really. Just a little bit closer than they perhaps would have liked. I think 7 or 8 runs in the end. So look, there's always learnings, and that's good. It's good to have that little bit of pressure going into a pressurised game on Thursday. So like I said, a little bit too close for comfort, but good to get that exposure ready for a big game on Thursday.
Yeah, and 11 wins in the group stages, an outstanding run for the Bears, and we'll talk about that. But I know there's been a lot of questions. I was just looking at my social media, and there's a lot of questions about Dan Mosley, because he was bowling very well. It took a blow to the hands in his follow through. It looked really, really painful. He instantly called to get the sub on. Have you had a chat with him? Have you spoken to him?
Not a little bit of a chat to him. A little bit of a split in his hand. Obviously, it's hard to say how much or how bad it's going to be at the minute. But he's a tough cookie. I'm sure he'll get out there on Thursday. There'll be a lot. There'll have to be a big injury to stop him getting out there on Thursday. So I'm sure he'll have to patch it up or strap it up, however he can do it. Obviously, you don't want it to impact his bowling too much. Obviously, he can have it strapped for his batting. So, he'll obviously be disappointed if he misses that game on Thursday. But like I said, it'll take a lot for him to not play. So he's obviously disappointed more that he didn't finish the game more than anything. He was bowling really well. Got those 2 wickets in the middle overs, one in the power play, one in the middle overs there. Sorry, so it just. Obviously, you don't want your campaign to end like that, do you? You want your campaign to keep going and going. I think that's 20 and 21 wickets now in the campaign, which is fantastic for him.
Yeah, he's having a terrific run at the moment. As you say, is Dan Mosley, and obviously we love him here on Bears Den TV. We get him up here often. I suspect not today, but I mean, I think what we need now is one of those sort of tabloid newspapers to print a picture of him on the back, like they did back in the day with Beckham's metatarsal, and everybody had to touch the foot. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, everybody had to touch the paper so that we could all collectively heal his foot. We need everybody in Birmingham to do that for Dan Mosley's hand. But obviously you can't say definitively, but you get the feeling he'll play on Thursday.
I think so. Yeah, I think. Look, these obviously injuries, you never know, do you? You never know how they're going to be. But I think he'll be good for Thursday. Knowing his personality and his character, and I'm sure the physios will do everything they can to get him ready.
They're in a bit of a winning run. That's 7 in a row now. We were talking about this before the game. They had 6 in a row, 7 in a row now, all against very, very strong teams. Incredible run, 11 wins. I mean, it must be a daunting proposition. We still won't know until sort of after this evening's games who finishes 4th in the South Group and who will play us in the quarterfinals. But whoever it is that's a daunting proposition for anybody to come to Edgbaston and take on this team right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the last loss was Derby at home, and that was a disappointing defeat there. So anyone who comes here is gonna have the work cut out. It's not just like we're winning game after game in one particular way. We're finding ways to win in various different ways. We keep touching on this game and the Northants game. Friday night at Nottinghamshire, and then obviously we've blitzed a couple of teams as well. So we're finding ways to win, and that'll be the scary thing for opposition. It's not like they know we're going to get 200 and keep teams low. We can win from...
We can do that as well.
Well, exactly. We can win from all angles. So, look, it's going to be quite daunting for whoever comes here, and I think a lot of teams in the South Group, you always predict where people are going to finish, and you always got your eye on people who you don't want to go to, and I think people in the South Group won't want to come here on Thursday.
No, they certainly won't. And this team is looking very, very united. Possibly a couple of changes depending on sort of England availability as well for that Thursday. But just a reminder, by the way, I should remind everybody, tickets are on sale now for that quarterfinal here at Edgbaston on Thursday, 6:30 start, under the lights. It's going to be amazing. You've got to get your tickets. £5 for juniors, £10 for adults. It'll be a cracking night here at Edgbaston. And this is a very entertaining team. I have to say, I've seen almost all the home games here. It's just wildly entertaining cricket. And just like you say, it's not just about banging the runs or just like huge 6s and 4s, which they can occasionally do. But it's also just the kind of those narrow wins and finding the way to win. I mean, they were cooked really against Nottinghamshire, as you said, a couple of nights ago, and just found that. Is there such a thing as sort of being in the habit of winning? So when you're on a run of winning games, you just find a way to win games. It's just one of those things that it becomes this run that you can't break.
Absolutely. I think we talk about momentum a lot in T20 cricket, and I think we spoke about it, didn't we, in that Derby game when we lost 2 and 3 in a row. And actually, it can be quite hard to get out of that losing rut. Once you get into a winning habit, you've almost got an edge over teams before the game's even started. So to win 7 in a row and go into the quarterfinals with that momentum is huge. You might end up playing someone in 4th who've lost the last couple of games and don't really know how to win again. So that's why teams will be scared, or not scared, but they'll be afraid to come here because we can hit people at all angles.
They'll be scared.
you say, yeah, absolutely. We'll take it if they are, then that's absolutely brilliant. But obviously, look, Thursday night's going to be a cracking atmosphere, like you say. The Hollies will be bouncing, I'm sure, and if the guys can put on a good performance, then look, finals day 2 weeks away is getting ever closer, and I think that's what's exciting the guys.
And just a quick note on the batting, which was a little bit disappointing as we talked about. I mean, we tend to focus on the positives. We talked about Yates, and we talked about the sort of the contributions down the order. But it's something they will look at, isn't it? Just making sure that they sort of fill in those little cracks that started to appear for the first time?
Yeah, look, I think the guys will have a good conversation down there as to where it might have perhaps gone wrong. There's a lot of experienced campaigners. Dave will speak. I'm sure Maxwell will as well. He's been in these situations all around the world. So, the guys are obviously winning for a reason. Obviously, there's a couple of people banging form. There might be a couple of people slightly out of form. But sometimes T20 cricket can help those guys out of form because it frees you up. It just plays you with a natural ability. Someone like Chris Benjamin can always come good when the stocks are against him. So I don't think there'll be too many guys who are worried down there. I think it'll be more excitement and more pleased for people like Yatesy who have got them over the line again. And like you said, to win another game will be fantastic.
If you had to guess who the Talbots player of the match was for Warwickshire, for the Birmingham Bears, who would you say it was?
Well, I can see him in the background, and I was slightly envious of the way he's bowled. So I'm fair play to Brooks. He's standing there with a big grin on his face, and I'm sure he can buy us around later.
Absolutely superb performance. He's got his shoes off already. Fantastic to have you. Very well played. Very well bowled. We were singing your praises all this time, and now we can do it to your face. I mean, it must feel really good. Low total to defend it out there. Big crowd, Sunday afternoon. Must be on top, over the moon right now.
Yeah, 100%. Personally, quite happy with the way I played. But, yeah, I mean, we batted quite well. Probably didn't get to the total we wanted to get to in the end. A few short, but, yeah, as a unit, we bowled really well there and managed to restrict them. So, yeah, good performance.
It's your first time up here in Bears Den TV. Do you like it?
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I might have to come up more often.
Yeah, you guys keep sending Mosley up. On the subject of Mosley, how's he doing? How's his hand?
I'm not too sure. He obviously took a knock on the hand there, so yeah, we should know more maybe over the next day or so. So yeah, fingers crossed he's okay.
What did you guys talk about, like in the halfway stage? Because obviously 141, it's not the total you guys were looking for. You're looking for something bigger. But what was discussed before you went out there in the field?
We got the feel it was quite a slow pitch, and spin was probably going to be a big part in the game. So. I mean, all of the seamers, they used their variations nicely there, and we had a very clear plan going out into the middle. So, yeah, I mean, it was a bowling unit there, and we bowled well as a team. So, yeah, it was a good performance.
How about yourself? You must be pleased with your own performance as well, just on a really good line, just probing, very difficult to score off. A little inside edge for the first wicket onto the stumps. But you've been attacking those stumps a lot this season. Have you got something against the stump manufacturers? Because you're just knocking them out of the surface.
Yeah, I like to try and be as aggressive as possible at top. I mean, a little bit of a different role for me today. I came through the middle. I usually end up bowling a few up top and then a few towards the depth. So slightly different mindset through them middle overs. But I was very clear, and yeah, it was nice to put a good performance in. So
I'm going to let your club captain Will ask a few questions as well. But very well done from me.
Thank you.
Firstly, mate, congratulations. Obviously, with the batting, I don't think it's quite your highest score. But do you know what your highest score was before you went out?
I couldn't tell you. I'm sure you could probably tell me.
Well, you ended up 3 short, and obviously we're having a beer tonight, aren't we? So obviously you've come short there, but. Obviously, you work hard on your batting. I've seen that firsthand. Was there a particular bowler or area of the ground that you wanted to target when you went out?
Yeah, to be honest, I probably wasn't supposed to come in so early. They were going to send Dominic in ahead of me. So, I mean, we always talk about matchups as a club, and my matchup was Travascus. So I tried to go in, take the short boundary on with the wind, and yeah, managed to come off nicely. So.
Lovely, and obviously with the middle overs, like you say, different role. How did you change? What was your approach? Was it slower balls? Was it pace on? How did you find that middle overs?
Yeah, to be honest, we tried to keep it as simple as possible. We knew heavy was working, and it was tough to get under that. So we stuck with heavy, and then pace off into the wicket was also a very good option. So tried to keep it as simple as possible, set some good fields, and yeah, the rest kind of took care of itself. So it was nice.
And finally, from me, obviously it'll be a quarter final at home. How excited are the boys? How excited are you? It's obviously playing. How excited are the boys to get out there on Thursday night?
Yeah, we obviously qualified last game, didn't we? So, I mean, the guys are over the moon, looking forward to it. So, I mean, today there was a little record. I think we've equalled the record for T20 wins as Bears. So, I mean, we go one more in the quarters. I think we set a new record. So, yeah, we're a very good side, and we're very capable of winning the quarter final on Thursday. So, good couple of days of preparation, and the guys are ready to go.
It's very, very exciting because you've obviously won today at home. You've got a game on Thursday at home. You win that, you've potentially got another 2 at home on finals day. We won't get too ahead of ourselves, but are you getting excited about it?
A fraction, but you don't want to look too far ahead. Obviously, Thursday's a massive game, so yeah, as I said, we'll go and prepare well, and then take Thursday on head on. So yeah.
You're a very, very sensible man, but congratulations to you. Fantastic performance from yourself and the team. Cheers. And go enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your drinks tonight, the Warwickshire crew. I'm sure you'll have a great time. And just a brilliant, brilliant win. Well done to you all. And thank you to everybody for joining us today. What a fantastic game of cricket. It wasn't this pulsating high scorer that some people have been talking about. It was a tight nail-biter. But the Bears come through again for the 11th time in the group stages. Reminder that they'll be playing this Thursday here at Edgbaston. Tickets are on sale now. £5 for juniors, £10 for adults. Make sure you pick them up. It will be a cracking game under lights. 6:30 starts. You can go after work, after school, whatever it is you want to do. But right now here at the Edgbaston Cricket Stadium, we are absolutely thrilled because the Bears have won another game. This is the last time we'll be on Bears Den TV this season. My thanks to everybody here at Warwickshire, at Edgbaston for being incredibly hospitable. The entire production team here worked very, very hard to bring you this show. So thank you so much to all of them, and thank you to you for joining us. My thanks to our contributors today as well. Craig Miles, Will Rhodes, Henrik Brooks, our Talbot's player of the match. My name is Atif Nawaz. Have a great night, everybody.